But as the cars are rounding around Parabolica, the safety car, the iRacing safety car, will pull off. And the cars and stars of the Canadian Motorsports Network NASCAR Series, powered by Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue, are going to take the green flag for the first annual Bangarang 120 at Monza, the first ever overseas race for the series. Green flag underway.
Arrivederci, boys, let's go. And Jordan Kalinian looks like he's gotten that jump, but look at McCauley trying to get some fresh air.
And with there no chicane there, which would have originally been Variante del Retifilo, however you're supposed to say that, not there, so high speeds, especially too with everybody being in almost a pack together with all that drafting speed. 190 plus miles per hour. Looks like everybody was able to get through my gosh, how do you say these names?
Della Rogia is that one.
Della Rogia is. Oh, we have trouble in the back of the field. That is Tom Janikowski in the number 93 with trouble in that area we just said.
Absolutely, but yeah, it's lap one, but if you're Tommy, you know there's an opportunity now with no Justin Belmonte in the field. If you can string together something here, I mean, if that's happening to him, it could happen to anybody out here. So, yeah, stay in it. Again, it's only lap 1 out of 34. And, yeah, you could see your playoff chances go up exponentially here with a good result tonight.
So here's a replay of what may have potentially happened. Oh, yeah, just lost it into the wall hard, into the barrier hard. Ooh. And taps the edge of the other side as well.
Yeah, that's where we had picked it up after the lion's share of the damage was done.
And then we'll get a view of Ty Higginbottom's brake issue there going into the Parabolica.
Yeah, we'll have to see. It just must have been late applying.
Ooh, yeah.
Tried to go on the inside there, but yeah, just couldn't get it to work out. Patience is going to be a key, which is a hilarious thing to say on such a high-speed track, but patience is going to be critical for success. Oh, I want to see his telemetry on board with the draft. I was going to say, we got to be touching 200 here at some point, no? It's like it was 193 by themselves in qualifying.
Well, look at that side-by-side action. I heard a reaction on the other side of my wall. Left side tires a little bit of a touch in the grass. The 17 clears the way. Both cars with the left sides a little bit up in the air. The number 17 up to second place in style.
The pass kind of in the grass. Not quite the same level, but a little bit loose out of the first Lesmo. Let's see if Sears tries to get it back.
Great
side by
inside
side down
there.
The main straight. Let's go.
Great inside line there from the number 17. Try to do a side draft along the right side there as looks like Ryan O'Toole is coming off a pit road right there. We'll see how these guys fare out going into Curva Grande. Or Grand.
Yeah, well, yeah, I made the Starbucks joke earlier, so Grande works.
Sure. Ooh, sideways was the 17. Going through Curve del Lesmo.
Yeah, this is Lesmo 2. They're coming out.
Indeed. Oh, man, are we going to get side by side again going through Del Serralio?
Yes, I think I went to Serralio, but yeah, it's basically just like a pretty much a kink in that straightaway. And yeah, Sears is through at Ascari again. Too busy playing with the setup.
Sears around. Sears goes around.
Yeah, we'll need another look at that one for sure.
Might be a little late, though, because, again, we're on the final lap of Stage 1, and Jordan Kalinian is well on his way to his 9th stage win of the season. But that's going to be a couple unfortunate lost points there for the number 32. We saw the incredible battle between him and the 17 for pretty much this entire stage. But now the number 17 is clearly going to take the second spot. Jared Ireland might try to maybe make one last desperate attempt to try and gain one extra point on Andy Hurdle, but coming through the Parabolica, And so now finally, we're going to get a quick replay here of what happened to the number 32 of Charlie Sears.
Yeah, just couldn't. Yeah, Sears ran wide, just couldn't quite get the 32 turned. And yeah, McCauley was on the proper racing line. Yeah, just unfortunate circumstances. Nothing malicious there at all.
Just a big boink and gone.
Yeah, just a little slippy.
Stage checker flag is going to be out for the number 0, Jordan Kalinian. Looks like they may have just a little bit. Oh, Jared Ireland in trouble.
Yikes, careful on the re-entry.
Front end completely.
Yeah, go ahead.
Front end completely gone on number 13, Boot Hill Camaro. Everybody else gets through just fine on lap 12.
You could be looking at a decent haul here.
17's around.
Oh, boy.
The number 17 in trouble, and Ascari hits the barrier trying to get it back around. So that's 2 cars in trouble early on this stage 2 beginning.
Yeah, and that's the thing about, the shorter stage, not nearly as much recovery time either. Again, we saw him take a longer pit stop. Like, yeah, we saw the first spin, but what's the second one?
Ooh.
Okay, so just took too much curb at Ascari there before. But yeah, it seems like just lost it out of De La Rosa and never recovered. Yeah, 5 laps of utter chaos here.
Ooh!
Oh!
Driver's side.
Yeah, even in sim you'll feel that. Parabolica presents one last opportunity.
And Andy Hurdle has not won or actually neither drivers have won a single stage yet this season. So both of them looking for their first here as they're coming to the stage checkered flag. Oh, the 7 went a little wide there. We'll see if the 32 can get enough of a run.
Yeah, I think Andy's got it covered off.
It looks like he's barely going to get the number 7 of Andy Hurdle. Taking stage 2, Magrum 3rd, Kalinian 4th, Wilson will take 5th, Mercado 6th, as Charlie Sears takes the lead. Oh, but then he goes wide. Magrum takes it back. Kalinian to the inside.
Oh, man.
And Kyle Knoll goes off the track. There's things happening off screen everywhere.
Hey, absolutely. It's hard to keep track of everything.
We said quick crank it up for a reason because what in the world was that dive bomb?
That was, like, ballsy, I think is the best way to describe that.
There's a
Oh!
Yeah, that's a replay of Kyle Knoll having an issue.
I saw that on the kickback of the YouTube stream. I didn't realize we'd caught that in real time.
And Kalinian's going to go down, but Sears doesn't.
All right, open air for Sears. Let's see if he can absolutely slam down an in-lap here. I wonder if he's maybe trying an well, by default, he's trying an overcut. We'll see if that ultimately gets him the pace that he needs to jump Kalinian on this last pit stop. He's inside. He has to.
He will. Just don't speed. Maybe try to get alongside Kalinian. Duke it out for the win. We shall see. There's Kalinian exiting off of Ascari.
Yeah, coming into the Parabolica. That's going to be very tight. Because Sears, that'll be a splash and dash a little quicker because he stayed out the 2 extra laps.
And Sears has that second box, so... Oh, man.
Sears might get it. But Kalinian's at full speed, though.
Oh, man.
Sears might have done it.
No. No, I think he's going to zoom him.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that chicane wasn't there. Yeah, Kalinian's got that one. But game on here for the last 4 laps.
Half a second lap-ish separating those two now with 4 laps to go. And if anything happens between these two, CD Magram is ready to pounce 4 seconds back.
Back on the straightaway.
And trying to break the draft.
That's the weaving. There we go.
And they may have some lap traffic to navigate around too.
Well, Sears certainly did on his end laps. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that winds up coming to pass here again in the next 2 3/4 laps.
So within these final about 2.5 laps or so, you cannot make a single error. Even just one single subtle weave could take you out of this one. Whoa, okay.
Yeah, Kalinian might have gotten held up briefly by that. Because look at Sears.
Look at this draft. There's a block. Crossover.
Sears to the inside. Is he going to go for it into Ascari? Let's see.
Oh, man. Kalinian lets him go. Kalinian has let him go through Ascari. Charlie Sears to the race lead.
Oh, man, that was just inopportune for Jordan Kalinian. Again, just coming up on that lap traffic. That could have happened to anybody, it has to be said. But, yeah, just, very opportunistic for Charlie Sears to be able to take advantage of that as well. Just no hesitation. Had no issue making that move on Kalinian, who fought it all the way to the entrance to the chicane. But you best believe Jordan Kalinian's going to come right back at him here in the next 2 laps.
Now, white flag is out. Final lap in the Bangarang 120 at Monza. Will the number 32 of Charlie Sears hang on and secure himself a playoff spot?
Yeah, it's weird. Like, Sears doing a good job here. Like,
Kalinian that dive.
Yeah, there was a dive. I was about to say he wasn't taking as much of an advantage of the draft, but look at this.
Kalinian has made an absolute jump on the 32. 3 tenths separating. Now 4 tenths. It was almost a whole tenth right there. Kalinian's going to dive.
Here he goes. Oh, Sears hangs on.
Sideways goes the 0. That right there might have just secured it.
Man, oh man, Kalinian had the line, but Sears just able to turn in. No contact between the two, it should be noted. Sears just found the way to just slam the door when he needed to.
That might have just secured it right there. The luck for this guy, for 499 Racing from Charlottesville, Virginia, the reigning IndyCar Series champion, has had such bad luck throughout his first career season in the NASCAR Series. But he comes around Parabolica one last time, looking to finally get rid of all the heartbreaking moments he's dealt with through 11 rounds. Coming off of Parabolica, this win is going to punch his ticket to the 5th annual Earl Ross Cup playoffs. Charlie Sears wins at Monza.
Man, oh man, talk about upsetting the apple cart. We kind of thought this would be a race where something could happen. And again, Sears, he started the night outside. He's fully in now. He is full send. Let's go, Chuck Nasty.
Charlie Sears, this is Regan McCauley up on the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I hear you, Regan.
You better. I better hear you too, because holy moly, a race and a battle for the ages. I mean, throughout the whole race, we were seeing battles all over the place, and you were involved in plenty of them, but man, oh man, what a pro move that you made towards the end there to take the race lead and eventually hang on for the first annual Bangarang 120 win at the Monza circuit, and your first career win within the NASCAR series. And again, you were riding some momentum into this season as a rookie on the stock car side because, of course, you won the IndyCar/Dart Series championship, and through 11 rounds, of course, it's been a hell of a roller coaster for you so far, but now here, after tonight, you can finally lift the monkey off your shoulders and say that you have booked a ticket into the 5th annual Earl Ross Cup playoffs, and you'll be safe for the next 3 weeks. Buddy, tell us everything.
Oh man, I'm a lot more emotional right now than I thought I would be getting a win here. it was coming, but I thought maybe next season. Like, I've learned a lot. Like, if you look at how I was in Daytona, our first race, I had no idea what I was doing. How is everyone so much faster than me? I've got folks in my ear saying, you got to stay within 0.2 of someone to, like, not lose them. And I'm, oh, that's too close. I don't know what you're talking about. To be here, obviously, it's the road course. You know, I think that I have some skill in a road course, but the competition is just insane on the road and oval side. Like you said, there were battles throughout the race. Everyone stayed clean. We didn't have many retirements. I think only a handful, and it was just an insane race. Like Corbin in that first stage, I pushed and I really wanted that second place. I should have settled for third there. Got off into I took too much brake too late going into the first Lesmo there, and got into first gear and just lit it up. And like, thankfully, neither Corbin or I had too much damage off of that, and was able to get sixth. Andy really fought for that win in the second stage. I could not get past him. Nothing I could do. The only place I had any speed on him was Curva Grande, and I was not willing to throw it too wide into that Kinks there. So we, you know, happily took a second there. And I thought it was going to be second coming out of this. I was planning to take a full set of tires after the second stage before this long run. I knew a fuel save wouldn't work, and seeing how I kind of got chopped in that first pit stop, I just realized, okay, maybe I need to not take tires. I'm only taking a splash of fuel for what we burned. Didn't take tires. That got me a great position coming out. Jordan got a fantastic run off the start. You know, got right up behind CD. We eventually got past CD. I just capitalized on Jordan's move into the first Lesmo and followed him right through. We were able to put some pace on CD. CD tried to cover on strategy and head into pits, but we maintained that gap. And from there, my goal was to just stay behind Jordan and try and keep pressure on, like trying to force a mistake. I didn't think I could make a pass. I just wanted to see, can I take this home in second, and can I make it close, or can I, you know, potentially force a mistake? But Jordan, fantastic behind the wheel, you know, didn't make a mistake the whole time. That second to last lap, there was a lapped car that looked like they were coming back on track. Jordan lifted, I lifted as well, but heading down into the first Ascari, I sent it. Like, it felt like my only opportunity, and I knew I'd regret it if I didn't send it. Jordan backed out and let me pull ahead a bit. I was able to put was a second and 0.2 gap on him. He closed that right up. He's got pace, so he closed that right up. But coming into the last lap, we were heading to the second Lesmo, and Jordan tried to send it inside. I saw him in the mirror, and there wasn't an opening. I closed the door, and then was just trying to ease it on home. I knew I had 3 turns in through Ascari, and then I had to take Parabolica fine. But just an absolute wave of emotions, like crossing that finish line and hearing that I won the race. Like, that's insane. I really didn't expect it. I have not been getting along with these cars. Y'all have seen me learn, I think, every lesson there is to learn in driving a stock car at a road course, at ovals, at short ovals, super speedways. I'm starting to get the hang of it, clearly. And yeah, I hope there's no more penalties coming for me for not understanding the rules. They're out there. I just have not been able to get them in my head. But holy cow, I can't. This is insane. Like, to be in the playoffs, that was my goal. Thought I might be able to do it on points with just consistent finishes, but to take a win and, like, just solidify that with so few races left, it's just so exciting. I'm over the moon right now.
Yeah, you were saying you're hopefully going to get in on points, but now with this win, you're certainly going to make the points for the drivers that now don't have a win going to the next 3 races. You certainly make that playoff picture even more interesting.
I couldn't let Jordan just win them all, you know. I thought I might be about to let that happen, but you know, that's racing. You see those moves, you take them. You know, I think Jordan. I don't want to speculate on what Jordan was thinking. I'm thankful for how it turned out. It was fantastic racing every single lap. There wasn't a single lap I wasn't, obviously glued to my seat, but what an exciting race.
For sure, for sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's finally here. The opening race of the inaugural Canadian eMotorsports Series regular season, the Holland College 250, live from virtual Daytona International Speedway. My name is Jordy Carraher, and I'm pleased to be calling tonight's race. Now, as for the season itself, it consists of 26 races. Nelson handles this, and here we go. We are live. We are going green, and we are underway here. This is the Holland College 250, the debut of the Canadian eMotorsports Series for this season, and we're off to a flying start here as Nelson takes that inside line. Waylon Brown trying to get down low on him in that 67. And that's going to end this one, ladies and gentlemen. As we see cars flipping in the back, it looks like it's going to be Jacob Nelson here once again. There it is, Darcy Ford. He goes back to back. Hurricane eMotorsports Ford Mustang has a winner, and it's the number 17 of Corbin McCauley. Your race winner, Jose Mercado, for the third time this season. It's going to be the number 42 of Mike Marini. Mercado goes wide, and it's going to be neck and neck. I think Darcy Ford may have gotten that at the very end. And it's Ryan Gibson who takes the checkered flag, his 6th of the season, and he becomes the inaugural Earl Ross Cup champion. We officially go green for tonight's Holland College 250 to get the season underway. Where's more going to come in? Darcy Ford, and there's the checkered flag. Darcy Ford, back of each other. Paytak trying to give Marini a bit of a bump. Paytak's going to get in on the inside. There's door to door. Paytak into the wall. Mike Marini, he's going to win. Your winner of tonight's Fix Auto 300. At the start-finish line, it's going to be Darcy Ford. He's going to hold on just long enough. Ty Higginbotham. It's like, I shouldn't say it too soon. Now he's done it.
Oh, yeah.
Now he's got his win. Peden tried to go inside. He may have him on the apron. Darcy Ford, he's going to get it. Darcy Ford is your champion.
It's amazing to be in this position. It's been a long, grueling season. But, oh, man, it's really paid off.
We're off and away. Season 3 of the Canadian eMotorsports Network NASCAR Series is officially underway here. And there he is, the number 25, Chase Beatty, picking up the win. And welcome to our studio here, Jordy Carraher, here alongside our newest contributor to the Canadian eMotorsports Network, Mr. Regan McCauley. It's the 94 of Leo Jameson, the Tornado Alley E-Racing.
Higginbotham comes off turn 4. He will score his first win of the season.
Ty Higginbotham, he's had his eyes open the entire evening. Here's the run to the line. Nicken's there, and it's going to be Mike Nicken. Corbin McCauley, he takes a massive win at Bristol.
Off
Nickens
turn 4. Nickens gets it. Almost.
What's going on?
Nickens
wins. Nelson trying to get through. This is coming down right to the end, but Jose Mercado is going to hang on. As not only is Ty Higginbotham going home with the Fix Auto Cup, he's got an Earl Ross Cup to his name as well.
Shaking. That's just crazy after what happened last year.
Good evening, folks. It's what you've all been waiting for here tonight. It is Season 4 of the Canadian Motorsports Network NASCAR Series, the GTR 250 at Daytona International Speedway. The green flag for our first annual iRacing season and the 4th season of Canadian Motorsports Network Series Racing officially underway with the GTR 250 at Daytona. Justin Belmonte scores his first career victory. Oh, and there's contact! To the start-finish line. Belmonte is going to get it. Take the checkered flag for his first win of the season. He's in the playoffs. McCauley wins the Las Vegas 200. A row, there's going to be contact! He saves it! Final lap of the Atlanta. Oh, no, the row goes Mabel up and over! And Haryoung is going to win the Rampage Coffee Co. 250 at Talladega. In case these two get together, McCauley diving down low on the inside. Oh, contact! 17 Holland College Chevrolet with the throwback to Kevin Harvick is going to win. Oh, and Belmonte up into the wall. Three wide. Oh, McCauley gets turned.
Oh, Jesus!
The 97 Ty Higginbottom is going to win the Firecracker 200. Justin Belmonte's number 6 is going to take the checkered flag and win the Kansas 200. CD Magram is going to win the Rampage Coffee Co. 250. Okay, Paytack came very close. Oh my god!
Oh, contact!
There's no McCauley, not one bit clear. Bailey's going to dive it in through there. Off the corner. Who's going to get it at the line? McCauley's going to get it. The number 13 of Jared Ireland's going to take the checker flag, and he will win his way into the Final Four. Scott Bailey's going to come to the line. He's going to win the Round of 8 finale here at Auto Club Speedway. Dylan Baum, his first career victory. And now coming through turns 3 and 4, he finished 3rd in 2020, 4th in 2021. Didn't even race last year. He comes back this year. He's gonna get the job done. There's your Season 4 Earl Ross Cup champion. The number 88 of Scott Bailey will get the job done. We're officially going to get underway here with Season 5 of the Canadian Motorsports Network NASCAR Series for the contact!
Oh! Oh,
Are they gonna save it? No, they're gonna wreck up at the front. Marini around, Kalinian's around, Hurdle as well. Big crash. Ty Higginbottom is your 5th annual GTR 250 champion. Number 17, Bolger Motorsports and Kawasaki Chevrolet to victory lane.
Oh, yeah,
there's
that was
contact
inevitable.
and big
But
crash behind
they
them. The 17 will win 2 weeks in a row. Jordan Kalinian, first career win in the NASCAR series. Jared Ireland well on his way to the checkered flag. Adam Wilson victorious at Dover. Second win of the season for Ty Higginbottom. Kalinian wins at Sonoma Raceway, his second career win. Andy Hurdle, first career win in the NASCAR series. CD Magram to the checker flag wins the Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue 175, powered by Chicken at Iowa Speedway. Give the win to Jordan Kalinian. But he comes around Parabolica one last time, looking to finally get rid of all the heartbreaking moments he's dealt with through 11 rounds. Coming off of Parabolica, this win is going to punch his ticket to the 5th annual Earl Ross Cup playoffs. Charlie Sears wins at Monza.
Hey, Jason Butler here, driver of the 10 car and day 1 participant of the Canadian E-Motorsport Network. Happy 100th race, everyone. Back during the crazy days of COVID shutdowns, I was looking for something to occupy my time. I was a lifelong racing fan growing up in the racetrack, watching my father race street stocks in Eastern Ontario and Western Quebec on the dirt, as well as Upper State New York at Oswego Speedway on the asphalt. So when I saw this random Facebook post from some random guy on PEI about an online racing league, I just had to jump at the opportunity. I went from working 60 hours per week to maybe 12, and was going a little stir crazy to say the least. I've had an amazing time knowing that every Tuesday I'll be joining up with guys from around North America to battle it out, not just on oval tracks, but also any manner of track that the competition committee throws at us. On the NASCAR side, I'm obviously not that great, but still thoroughly enjoy the battling it out with the 20 or so other guys who've been with us consistently, coming out every week. I'm more of an open wheel type of guy, but the knowledge and racecraft I've learned on the NASCAR side has been invaluable. Being a member of the Canadian E-Motorsports Network, not only as a driver, but also as a member of the competition committee, has been invaluable. The series has helped me in my own life with networking, as I've gained many relationships hunting down sponsors, not only for myself, but for the league in general for individual races. It has taken me, a shy guy, out of my shell, able to share my love of what I do with others in my daily life. As an opening day driver in the league, I can remember downright harassing the league commissioner about someday making the move to the iRacing platform. I felt that in order to grow, it was an absolute necessity. And I feel that not only have we met, but we've exceeded the expectations we thought the move would bring us.
What's up, everybody? Jose here from Kissimmee, Florida, driver on the number 41 for Mustang. To answer a couple of questions here as we approach our 100th race of the NASCAR series. How did I join the series? Well, I saw a post on Facebook. Reached out to Daniel and Jordy, which were the guys that were in charge at the time. Reached out to them, asked for all the information. They sent me the instructions on how to join. League has had a lot of up and downs. We've had a lot of guys come through the league, some good ones, some bad ones. We've been, steady every year. New guys come in, competition keeps getting harder and harder. Obviously, the change from NASCAR Heat to iRacing last year was a big hurdle for a lot of us, me included. I had a lot to adjust. Car drives different. But all in all, I think I'm catching up a little bit to the past guys this season. Never really thought we were going to get to 100 races. Been through a lot of leagues. A lot of them don't make 50 races. A lot of them don't make 25 races. So just to put in perspective that we've reached our 100th race of just the NASCAR series, not even adding all the other series that we've had, in between NASCAR series seasons and stuff like that. Big shout out to Daniel Cudmore, Jordy, Jason, Corbin, all of the admins, Ty, Andy, the new admins, everybody that puts a little bit here and there, Darcy. If I forget somebody, man, I apologize, but the admin group, everybody that started the league, everybody that has kept up with the league, I appreciate it. And it's only go for another 100 races until we get to 200. All right, thank you guys, appreciate it. Have a good race at Pocono.
I'm Ty Higginbotham, driver of the number 97 in all of the series in the Canadian network. I first arrived in 2021. My journey through the network has been quite a lot. When I first started, I didn't really know anybody except for a few people, and but I quickly got respect and a courtesy of others on the track, and became friends with everybody else pretty much fairly quickly. So yeah, the first year was when we were in Heat 5 on the PlayStation. It went from kind of just being super laid back and just kind of getting a feel for how the others drive and stuff like that to trying to be up front and getting wins and whatnot. So the journey's been quite a stepping ladder through the years. The transition to iRacing last year, which I think immensely helped the network, provided more of an opportunity for other drivers to join the network. It opened an opportunity for us to do special events. It opened the opportunity just for us to try different things and do different mini-series and things like that, which I think was one of the best decisions we ever have done as a series or as a network. The transition to iRacing was quite a lot for many people, but I think ultimately it has been the best decision we've ever made. And I say we because I went from kind of being a newbie to being a part of the admin team, being a part of the competition committee and helping those guys. And I have the utmost respect for all of those guys and everybody in the series, the NASCAR series, people who race in our DART series, just everybody. So off the track, it's led to, I think, pretty much lifelong friendships. I go to races like live NASCAR races with some of the guys, and I also pretty much chat with most of the people every day, if not every other day. And I think it's led to good friendships that we don't just talk racing stuff. We also talk about personal lives, what's going on in our personal lives and stuff like that, our accomplishments when we're down. Just it's led to really good connections. So I'm really thankful for the network and what it's what it is at now, and what the future holds for the network. But yeah, where it's at now is pretty exciting, and I'm glad it is at where it's at, and looking forward to the future.
Hello everyone, my name is Corbin McCauley. I am the driver of the number 17 Bolger Motorsports ARC Carpentry and Flooring Cavendish Farms Chevrolet Camaro in the NASCAR series for the Canadian E-Motorsports Network. Back in 2020, I noticed an email from the college account for myself. Back in 2020, I was taking automotive technology at Holland College, and in this email from Daniel Cudmore, it was saying that there's going to be a brand new sim racing series hosted by the college, and that signups were starting soon for it. At the time, I was a massive NASCAR fan, just like I am now. When I read that email, I'm like, I got to be a part of this, because it was just like, I didn't think that anyone here was kind of into that thing. I didn't realize that there was kind of a following for it, and I was like, I need to be a part of this. So being a part of the very first season, being one of the first guys, and still continuing to be a part of that group of people that were there from the very beginning is such an honor, and it's something that I truly cherish. Like basically every single Tuesday for the last 4 years of my life have been racing with a great, amazing group of people. And honestly, the switch over to iRacing was one of the biggest things, because for myself, I've been on iRacing for over a decade, and NASCAR Heat wasn't really my thing. Like I wasn't really a lot into the Simcade stuff. It just wasn't my driving style. I didn't feel comfortable, but I still amassed a few wins. I almost got that championship in season 1. Still kind of mad about that one, but you know what? Gibby deserved it. And but you know what? I was one of the big advocates for the transition over to iRacing, because I knew how much it would affect our league in a big positive way. I knew we'd be able to do so much more. We'd be able to make the broadcast look better. The racing quality would be better. And when I finally managed to convince Daniel to do it, we moved over to the iRacing service. And season 1, I mean, there was some rough patches, but my gosh, like I did not expect it to go as smooth as it did. Now that we're into the second season, we're halfway through the second season already on iRacing, and going into the 100th race of the series at Pocono Raceway, and I couldn't be more thrilled to be a part of it. I mean, it's been such an honor to be a part of this for the last 4 years of my life. I just recently started racing a stock car in real life, and if I'm going to be honest, I don't think it would be happening if it weren't for this series, because this whole thing really revitalized my love for stock car racing, sim racing in general. I mean, I had a Logitech G27 at the start of this. Now I've got a full-blown sim racing Fanatec triple monitor setup. So, I mean, it just means the world to me that this is still going on, and we're still a tight-knit group of people that love doing what we're doing, as well as being a part of the competition committee, and the guy that, you know, we have the background discussions, we make the schedules, we do all the stuff in the background, and it truly is a ton of work that goes into what we do and how we do it, and it's just such an honor to be a part of it, and I'm really glad to be a part of it. We're 100 races in. I hope we go 500 more. I mean, it's you never know, right? So it's good to see everyone tonight. Hope you guys enjoy the race, enjoy the broadcast, and we're going to be putting on a good show for you. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being with us for the last 4 seasons.
I've been here since day one. You guys know the voice. You guys know the face. You also know that even I don't know what's coming out of my mouth next. And I know one thing I didn't necessarily expect to be saying when we started all this 4.5 years ago is the fact that we reached 100 NASCAR races. That is absolutely mind-blowing to me. Because, I mean, this whole thing just started with a lot of pandemic uncertainty. That's all it was when I saw Dan's first post about it. Of course, Dan Cudmore's contributions to all of this can never be understated. We wouldn't be here without his initiative to begin with. But yeah, just thinking back to how things were at the very beginning, there was a ton of uncertainty around it, a lot of logistical stuff that needed to happen. I mean, there were points where I had to stream at home because I couldn't get into Holland College with the restrictions. And it's crazy to think about all that now, especially given all the support that we had from Holland College in the very beginning. But yeah, originally live streaming wasn't really part of the plan. But yeah, once Dan and I started talking about it, it's just absolutely crazy to think this has taken off from where it was back in April or May 2020, May 26th, I believe the promo video said. From there to now, it's night and day, the evolution of where we are now. Like, it's mind-blowing to me to think that we've actually made it this far, to the point where, you know, it's literally a connective tissue between everyone who's been part of this from season 1, season 2, you know, even a lot of the guys who've come in a little bit later. Like, they've really embraced that kind of family mentality of it, you know? And it's been absolutely amazing that you see so many guys from different walks of life coming together in the name of fun, quite honestly. And the fact that it's lasted this long, absolutely amazing. And, you know, for me, it's been an honor being part of the conscience and I guess one of the voices of the venture itself, certainly one of the more recognizable faces behind it. But yeah, crazy to think we've made it this far, because obviously we have our 100 NASCAR races, but then you think of all the crossover into the F1 series, the IndyCar / Dart. I think I can say IndyCar now, so, well, beep it if I can't. Special events, obviously, that we've done, and, you know, our off-season cup that we had as well. Like, we've really diversified. It's not just, you know, NASCAR, but that's always going to be the crown jewel. And yeah, it's crazy to think just how much I've evolved as part of this as well. Like, when we started this, I wasn't necessarily, I wouldn't say I was bad on the live streaming side of things. I could work my way around it, but trying to manage that while talking and putting together elements for it, completely different ball game. Forced me to learn different skill sets, things that I use today in my everyday life. But I think the biggest thing for me was, you know, learning how to better navigate trying times. And whew, God knows we had enough of them. And like, I remember thinking back at the end of season 1, 2, and 3, we didn't know if we were going to go again. But, you know, iRacing really breathed new life into the series, and it really gave us an opportunity to kind of make it our own. You see just how much things have evolved over the last 2 years on the broadcasts, and, you know, being able to be part of that, albeit in a smaller role, of course, trying to navigate it from the other side of the country as opposed to being on Prince Edward Island. A little bit different now, but, you know, I wouldn't trade it for anything. Can't imagine, you know, being anywhere else on Tuesday nights, and I can't imagine doing it with anybody else at this point, because we're bound by this. And, you know, this is one of probably the greatest experiences that I've had, you know, personally and professionally, just with the overall growth. And, you know, it's crazy to think I'm actually getting short on words now, but, you know, I guess I'll just end off by saying, you know, it's amazing that we got to 100, 0 to 100 real quick, some might say. And yeah, it sounds lame, but it's so true. But yeah, here's to another 100 and God knows how many more that we're fortunate enough to be able to do. So, you know what, let's keep doing this, gents.
Hey everybody, Daniel Cudmore here, former driver of the number 2 within the Canadian E-Motorsports network. I just wanted to take a minute to congratulate you all on reaching 100 races. That's a great accomplishment. A lot of hard work has gone into the series over many years by many different people, so well done to everyone for this accomplishment. Certainly do miss being out on the track with you all, but I have been keeping tabs week to week, and congratulations on outstanding racing each and every week. It's really fun to watch and really fun to see. A big shout out to Jordy and Regan for their continued commitment and dedication to the series, for making it what it is so far, especially your social media content. Really has been next level. So well done, guys. I wish everybody the best of luck for the rest of the season, and I'll be watching. Bye, guys.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another live production of Canadian eMotorsports Network action powered by Kyle's Fried Chicken Barbecue on iRacing. It's more Season 5 action from the NASCAR series, and it's a historic, monumental night here for round 13 of 22 at the virtual Pocono Raceway. It is, if you were tuned into the pre-race show, you saw it all there for about an hour or so. It is the 100th race in Canadian eMotorsports Network NASCAR Series history here at the virtual Pocono Raceway. It's the Fort River Brewing Company 200. In the broadcast booth for tonight's event, of course, the voices of the Canadian eMotorsports Network since Season 3, one of them since Season 1. The voice you're hearing right now from Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, in the play-by-play role since Season 4 in 2023, Regan McCauley, Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. On the other side, also on the other side of the country, he's been here since Season 1. It is Jordy Carraher from Alberta. And so eventually we will get into the broadcast booth here and hopefully be able to get our faces. Still nothing yet on your end, Jordy, unless you're waiting for me to actually put the split screen graphic up.
I am exactly doing that.
All right, let's see what surprise he has for us this week. I remember the graduation one for me, so let's see what it is for the 100th race.
It's coming.
Dear God.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have time to do it on my end because I was focusing on all the pre-race show and stuff and such, but I think that right there is plenty.
Screen cap.
But yes, guys, this is the broadcast booth here. You're seeing the faces in real time. Regan McCauley, Jordy. Nope, that's the wrong way. Jordy Carraher over there. But Jordy, 100 races. We see it right there on your side of this graphic. We made it.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how sometimes, and I know a lot of the guys who did the pre-race interviews or video submissions, a lot of them said the same thing. But yeah, bottom line is we're here. We're excited. Let's go.
Yes, sir, indeed. But before we get into talking about tonight's race here at the virtual Pocono Raceway, we have to go quickly, just for a couple minutes, back into the double-digit era back at Monza, Autodrome Nationale Monza, however you actually say that, for our first ever overseas race in the Canadian eMotorsports Network NASCAR Series, race number 99 before this week's 100th race. Getting the job done last week for his first career victory in the series, the reigning IndyCar/Darts Series champion, the number 32 499 Racing Chevrolet of Charlie Sears, with his best performance yet after, again, 11 rounds in a row of just heartbreaking moments and many important lessons learned for the guy that is a rookie on the stock car. And we've seen plenty of success from him on the open wheel side, as I said, reigning IndyCar Series champion. But then on the stock car side, just so many weeks in a row where just nothing would go his way. But man, oh man, has it ever humbled him. And that certainly was proven last week at Monza. And of course, might as well... Where are you? There we go. There's the winning pass right there against the number 0 Toyota. Fellow NASCAR Series rookie Jordan Kalinian. That happened with 3 laps to go. Jordy, just looking back on that race, so people that tuned into the pre-race show here just before we got on, of course, the Monza highlights were shown, and you were able to witness all the top moments from last week's race, including the winning pass and Charlie Sears going on to get the victory. Man, oh man, Jordy, we've seen a lot of incredible races here throughout the history of the Canadian eMotorsports Network NASCAR Series. Obviously, you've seen more because you were, the main voice throughout seasons 1 and 2, of course. But again, within the iRacing era, this race, without a doubt, may have just topped all of them.
I mean, yeah, like... You must have had heck of time trying to put that highlight clip together in the first place, because there was a lot that went down. Yeah, but obviously plenty of excitement in that third stage. It really, I said before the race started, it felt like something unpredictable could happen. And yeah, I mean, we saw it all the way through the race, basically. The guys that we expected to dominate. Yeah, some of them were there, but others a little bit further down the field. The first time, stage 2, Andy Hurdle grabbing the stage. I think that was the first one that, first one in a while that Jordan Kalinian didn't grab on the road courses because he was going so good. And, he was looking like a buzzsaw in stage 3 as well. And ultimately, just that unfortunate incident coming out of the second Lesmo turn there that gave Charlie Sears the opening he needed. And I kind of figured this would be a race where he could make an impact. And I mean, that graphic, I don't need to say anymore.
No, you do not. From you see the official results here from the Bangarang 120 at the Monza circuit in Monza, Italy. Again, round 12 of 22 on Tuesday, June 4th. And number 32, Charlie Sears, getting the win. And we were talking about that winning pass too. Kalinian even tried to do the same thing, but came up just short on the final lap. Might have made a move a little too early, about halfway into the white flag lap. But yes, of course, first and second in qualifying do the swap, as Kalinian had won the pole and also stage 1, but came up short, of course, in second place. C.D. Magram comes home in third after qualifying 6th. Corbin McCauley with the 4th place finish after qualifying 3rd. It seemed like he had a good car going in the early on in the race, but we did see a spin out of him later on, and he was able to come back around and rebound for a top 5 finish. Jose Mercado went under the radar with a top 5 finish himself after qualifying 9th. Andy Hurdle, as you mentioned, Jordy, winning stage 2, goes on to finish 6th, and not honestly a lot of recognizable names, familiar names throughout the rest of the top 10. Darcy Ford, Ty Higginbottom, Mike Marini, Kyle Knoll, and then for some drivers below the top 10, Adam Wilson qualified inside the top 10, but unfortunately fell to 12th, which tragically ended the streak of it ended a streak where at 11 races in a row, Tornado Alley E Racing, all 3 drivers finishing inside the top 10. Finally, the streak was broken, with Wilson finishing 12th, Magram and Higginbottom 3rd and 8th. So, of course, all good things must come to an end there. There was also Jared Island, who had qualified 5th and was in the running for maybe a top 5, top 10 finish. Ends up crashing out and disconnects with 8 laps down. Finishes in 18th. So 20 cars participated in that one. Looks like we're going to get one additional car for tonight's race at Pocono Raceway. But now looking towards the driver standings after 12 rounds. The graphic that you're looking at is in order of drivers that have already won their way into the playoffs, and then we take the rest of the guys that are above the cut line but don't have a win yet and still need to make their way in on points. Again, there's still 3 rounds remaining, including tonight, to try to, take the monkey off the shoulders and at least breathe a sigh of relief before we get to the playoffs in July, of course. Darcy Ford, 83 points above Jose Mercado, plus 73. Those two pretty much guaranteed, unless complete catastrophe decides to happen tonight and for the next 2 weeks. As long as they start the next 3 races, it's pretty much all said and done for them. Mike Marini at plus 42, a little bit more on the brink right there, but so far so good. And then there's Kyle Knoll at plus 34, which he gained a ton of good points in last week's race. We saw, Jordy, for the past couple weeks, the battles. Originally, it was a battle between like Charlie Sears and Kyle Knoll. Justin Belmonte was actually a bunch of points up above the cut line, but he's now missed, 2 rounds in a row, which now has him at 39 points below the cut line. And then Jason Heaney was able to get minus 19 at one point, but now down to minus 34, I believe I read there. It's been up and down for him. He's come close. It's like he gets close, then he doesn't. Gets close, then he doesn't. Man, oh man, time is ticking, and even though it's 34 points separating that final playoff spot and 13th, this is far from over.
Well, if you recall last week, Charlie Sears was 13th going into the race.
Exactly.
Look what happened.
Exactly.
Yeah,
he won his way
not
in.
over.
He won his way in, 8th different winner through 12 rounds. That's a milestone we haven't seen as similar since season 1, where we had 7 different winners, I believe, in 11 rounds, I believe it was.
Something like that. It wound up being, regular season was 9 out of 16.
Okay. So we'll see how that plays out for the rest of the regular season, of course. And then we don't really need to show this because, quite frankly, we could arguably already call a winner but at least Charlie Sears gets in the spotlight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, now that you've got three rookies locked into the playoffs, and again, we use the term rookie very, very loosely.
Yes.
But 3 first-year drivers within the series locked in and already looking to do some damage. I mean, you have 4 of your 12 wins on the screen right there in the form of Sears and Kalinian. Add another one with Wilson. That's almost half of them. So, you know what? These guys didn't come here just to show up. They came to show out, and they have throughout the course of the season.
Absolutely. Now, 3 of those first-year drivers are now going to so far remain eligible to contend for the 5th annual Earl Ross Cup. Jason Heaney could still very well try to get in there if he's able to grab a bunch of good points tonight and within the next 2 weeks. Maybe some other drivers, Trevor Binns, Mason Tomlinson might be able to pull off a shocker at tonight Pocono, Indianapolis next week at the Brickyard, maybe Rockingham in the regular season finale, which, I mean, yeah, speaking of that, when we look at the schedule for the rest of the month, we don't have any super speedways for the rest of the regular season, thank goodness, but honestly, we're technically at one tonight, technically.
Yeah, I mean, nothing is handed to these guys. We didn't make it easy to end this regular season. And yeah, it's been a minute since we've been at Pocono as well. So maybe a little bit of, well, I mean, unfamiliarity might be a bit of a stretch. Obviously, fairly common track on the iRacing side of things. But yeah, within our particular world, it's been a minute. So I'll be very curious to see who comes out on top here and whether or not we've got any other kind of not so much shockers, but things that upset the apple cart here.
Indeed so. Only 3 races remaining in the regular season. Hard to believe now we're going to be at 100 races into the Canadian Motorsports Network NASCAR series after tonight's race. And then 2 more races remaining in the regular season. Like, time has flown by for the whole series in general and just this whole regular season, or if you honestly take the whole season altogether, like, time is just ticking, and we've seen through the first 12 rounds how intense things are, especially with this driver parity, which by far is the best that we've ever seen in the series. So to finally get to race 100 and have this field that we have here, especially, we're going to have 22 of these drivers that are going to contend for the Forked River 200 win here tonight. Oh my goodness, it is going to be a barn burner.
What are we waiting for? Let's just dive right in. Like, it's been an exciting bit of build up here to get to race number 100, and I'll have to go back. I didn't realize that DC actually chimed in with a video. That's awesome to see. Love to see you, Danny. I know you watch these races as well. We were just talking about that. Yeah, looking forward to an absolute show here as we hit triple digits.
Absolutely, and no better, or maybe no more chaotic track to do a race 100 at than the virtual Pocono Raceway, which enters its 2nd year of operation in the Canadian eMotorsports Network NASCAR series. The last time we ran there was in 2020, season 1.
Yes,
during the infamous console era. So 4 years. So 4 years later, we finally returned to this track during the series' 2nd season on the iRacing platform. Now, this track is still familiar with a couple of these guys in tonight's event, as Pocono Raceway did host a race in Season 2 of the IndyCar/Darts series last year, with Charlie Sears getting the win. The Tricky Triangle, as they call it, at 2.5 miles, 4 kilometers long. It's a triangular super speedway, I guess in technical terms, in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Opened in 1968. It's hosted NASCAR racing in real life since 1971. And the straightaways at this track, oh my goodness, they are absolutely long. I think it's almost like the front stretch alone is almost 4,000 feet.
Well, I mean, yeah, 2.5 mile track. I think you alluded to that. So that's Daytona length, but with 3 turns instead of your standard 4. So yeah, let's have some fun with that, shall we?
What, turn 4?
Exactly.
We'll definitely be saying that plenty of times here tonight, but more than that too, like the corners at this place, I know somebody in behind the scenes chats was talking about how each corner seems to resemble some other tracks. I think somebody mentioned like, one turn is off of like Indianapolis, and other ones like Milwaukee and such. Can you remind me what those 3 tracks are, if you remember?
Well, I mean, Wikipedia is not the most reliable source, but that's what I've got in front of me here. So turn 1 at a 14-degree banking is modeled after Trenton Speedway. And yeah, the guys will get a little bit of practice for next week as they go through turn 2, 8 degrees of banking, because it is based off of Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And you were bang on with turn 3, 6 degrees, modeled after the Milwaukee Mile.
Yeah, I mean, they all have their different characteristics, different degrees of banking and such, but they are all very sharp, sharp and tight.
Get the sensor.
Oh boy. I mean,
it had to be.
I mean, hey, a while ago I did say that thing relating to Corbin, but we'll not get into those specifics. But anyways, with these straightaways, the speeds are going to be absolutely fast. I believe I was told it was like 180 miles per hour without the draft, and then with the draft, you're almost at 200.
I mean, as if Monza wasn't fast enough last week. Now we're putting these guys on Pocono. Same idea, just, floor it.
Yeah, and drivers have also reported tight entries and loose exits are going to be expected out of the corners here at the virtual Pocono Raceway. Also some dirty air, maybe a couple brake bias changes in the corners. There's one driver that said it's fun to drive, but not to race.
Well, I mean, if that's the preview we're looking at, it could be fun for us to watch.
Indeed. So there are the cars spawning onto the pit lane here at the virtual Pocono Raceway. I'm going to go here into iRacing chat and do race control and send these guys a quick message. Congratulate them on most of them, some of them making it to 100 races here in the Canadian Motorsports Network NASCAR Series, powered by Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue. But what's most important is all these guys are here for this incredible milestone of 100 races. It's the Forked River 200 at Pocono Raceway in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Round 13 of 22 is up next in a couple of minutes. These engines are going to get fired up, and we're going to go around for 80 laps and 200 miles. With 3 races remaining in the regular season. Stay tuned, folks. And so the engines have been fired up here at the virtual Pocono Raceway, and I guess we've already spoiled most of the starting grid there with some of those guys up front, but we might as well get it over with, because some of these guys want to try and get green flag racing as soon as possible due to the fuel window. But starting up front, on the pole, no surprise whatsoever, it's the number 17 Bolger Motorsports and Kawasaki Chevrolet from Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, and Corbin McCauley. Alongside him is the number 0 Toyota from Salisbury, North Carolina. It is Jordan Kalinian. In row 2, we have the 2021 Series champion, the number 64 Chevrolet of Darcy Ford. Alongside him, driving for Tornado Alley E-Racing, the number 1 Toyota, it is CD Magram.
All right, rounding out the top 5, we have from Laurel, Delaware, driving for Tornado Alley Racing. Rookie, number 21 of Adam Wilson, will start 5th, and winner at Charlotte a few weeks ago. Been here since Season 2, the 519 E-Racing Chevy, driven by Andy Hurdle. The number 7 will start 6th. On to row 4, and Will Kern joins us once again, the number 31 out of somewhere in New York. I don't have it right in front of me here. Might have to get bailed out. Thank you. He starts 7th, and then we head to Florida to find the number 33 Toyota of Trevor Benz, driving for Koopa's Racing. He starts 8th.
Rounding at the top 10, we have the number 9 Toyota of Jason. We have the 2 drivers right on the bubble below the cut line. The number 9 Toyota of Jason Heaney for Koopa's Racing from Altoona, Wisconsin. Alongside him, making his first start in a couple weeks, the number 6 Ford for GTR from Pachico, New York. It is Justin Belmonte. And then just outside the top 10, there's the button. Row 6, the number 41 Ford of Jose Mercado, driving for GTR from Kissimmee, Florida. Alongside him, a first-year driver in the number 4 Chevrolet from Eudora, Kansas. It is Mason Tomlinson.
And we head to Wendell, North Carolina, where we find the number 15 Storm Surge Esports Toyota of Kyle Knoll, starting in 13th. And then he's got one of the day 1 OGs on his outside, the number 12 Toyota of Mike Marini. Not sure if he's still driving for True North Racing or not. What I do know is he's starting 14th. Moving on to row 8, we have last year's Talladega winner, the number 77 of Hunter Young. His Ford out of St. Catharines, Ontario, will start 15th. On his outside, we head to Laverne, Tennessee, where we find the number 22 of Bryce Fontaine. He'll start in 16th.
And rounding out the rest of the field, where we have on row 9, the number 32 Chevrolet for 499 Racing from Charlottesville, Virginia. Last week's winner at Monza, it is Charlie Sears. Alongside him is the number 13 Chevrolet of Jared Ireland from Eudora, Kansas. Jason Butler in the number 10 Chevrolet for 519 E-Racing from London, Ontario. Another day 1 OG right there, starting in 19th. And then on the outside is the number 16 Chevrolet, a first-year driver, Ryan O'Toole from Portland, Oregon. And then to round out the field, we have the number 80 Toyota for Koopa's Racing from Georgina, Ontario. It is Mark Ouellette. And rounding out this 22-car field for tonight's 100th race is the number 93 Chevrolet of Tom Janikowski from Appleton, Wisconsin. And so here's a quick race analysis right here. It's 80 laps, 200 miles. Stage 1 will be 16 laps. Stage 2 and 3 will be 32 laps each. Pit road speed is 55 miles per hour. The fuel window will be about 15 to 18 laps. So a lot of these drivers will be right on the brink when we come to the end of this first stage, unless we get a couple cautions and such. But they're coming off a turn 4 with behind the iRacing pace car, and 22 of the superstars of the Canadian Motorsports Network NASCAR Series will go to the green flag for race 100. The Forked River 200 is underway.
Yeah, this is race 100. I'm sure, most of these guys are gonna give it 110 here, and we'll see the speeds go even higher as we come down the main straight.
Jordan Kalinian will take the race lead down, I guess we could call it the back straightaway, rushing towards turn number 2. McCauley falling back to second place, Magram in third. Adam Wilson using that high side to move up to the 4th position. Darcy Ford will drop in behind. But so far so good here on lap 1 as the cars enter turn 3, again resembling the Milwaukee Mile.
Yeah, one turn at a time, boys. One turn at a time.
And for race number 100, lap 1, led by Jordan Kalinian.
And it was done cleanly, which, always a great start to these particular evenings. Again, this is a special one all the way around.
You can see a bunch of drivers dipping down towards that inside line, I suppose trying to break off the draft. But mostly single file throughout the field here. But I mean, again, for how this race could shape out later on as drivers start to learn this track. Again, stage 1 only being 16 laps versus 32 laps in stages 2 and 3. Things are definitely going to get a little bit tighter here between all of these guys, as I think Kalinian might have had a bit of a slide there coming off the final corner. McCauley going way down to the bottom with him. So is Magram trying to get that draft. Oh, indeed, he got a lot of momentum.
Yeah, I mean, he is right on that back bumper, and yeah, as he comes inside on 1, see if Kalinian can fight back. This is where the higher banking is, 14 degrees, but if McCauley gets the better exit, no, Kalinian holds on. Lower banking, McCauley probably gets out with the lead.
Jose Mercado tapped the outside wall coming off of turn 1. But so far, so good. About 2/10 separating the 0 and the 17.
Now, again, I've talked about me watching in potato vision outside, or so far away in Alberta, but are my eyes deceiving me in thinking that there's no Higgy tonight?
No, there's not. He could not make it due to personal reasons, so very unfortunate.
Okay, I must have missed that.
Very unfortunate, but of course, he's locked in with a playoff spot with 2 wins on the season at Daytona and North Wilkesboro, so all is well and fine. He might lose a couple. He might have lost the opportunity at a couple extra points here tonight, but what matters is he is locked into the playoffs, so not too much concern right there, as I believe the number 1, Sidney Magram, got into the outside wall there, coming off of 1 just like Mercado did.
Well, yeah, it's about finding boundaries, finding limits here tonight, figuring out just how far you can push this car. Again, we haven't been here since season 1, and again, that might have been Heat 4. Whoa. So, a couple games ago.
Indeed so, and again, a couple of these guys, as I mentioned earlier, familiar with the track, at least on the open wheel side, since the IndyCar/Dart Series did host a race here for Season 2. With, of course, Charlie Sears getting the win. He's all the way back in 15th right now, so again, he does have that win that locked him into the Earl Ross Cup playoffs last week. But he would still definitely want to try to go back-to-back and build up a little bit more momentum going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the urgency isn't quite as high as it would have been before last week, as you say, but yeah, absolutely. Momentum is a killer, and I mean, you see Jared Ireland on your screen right now, or at least you did. He's a perfect example of finding that momentum last season. Like, parlayed the Kansas win in the regular season to kind of making his mark in the playoffs, and that's ultimately what kind of pushed him into the championship 4. You can say the same of Mike Nickens back in season 3, just the consistency, but then you break through later on. You know what? There's something to be said for stringing together performance after performance here.
Mercado and Ireland going at it for the 13th position. Oh, the 41 slides up the track. Ireland does the crossover.
Yeah, still lots of room to operate until suddenly there's not.
Riding on board with the number 41, who has cleared the way behind Ireland. We'll try to go low on him again.
Yeah, again, I was wondering if maybe the lower banked angle would have helped out, but yeah, Mercado not quite close enough that time around.
Oh, and we have a change for the lead. The number 17 gets ahead of the 0 going into turn 1 on lap 7. But Kalinian's going to try to get back. Beside him, 17 had a bit of a wiggle there.
Yeah, he ran real high there. I think like from what I would imagine, probably a little bit higher than maybe he was anticipating or wanting. And yeah, it's going to give Kalinian the opening to snatch the lead right back. But 17's not going to give that one up that easily.
Not just, crossover move. McCauley on the inside, Kalinian on the high side, coming to lap 8. Eventually halfway here through stage 1. But because of this battling going on, it looks like this is giving an opportunity for guys like Magram and Wilson, a pair of Tornado Alley E-Racing guys, the only ones here tonight, as we mentioned Ty Higginbottom being absent. They have an opportunity to catch up to these two, potentially make it a 4-car battle here for the stage win. Even Darcy Ford and Andy Hurdle might try to get involved.
Well, I mean, that draft is about as powerful as it gets. So, yeah, you've got a pretty formidable group there. And, I mean, don't even discount Will Kern. Or even, I was going to say, was that Bins in the background?
Yeah.
I didn't think so.
That's Bins behind him.
Okay, yeah, I got my numbers flipped. That's where I went wrong. Yeah, I was thinking that Kern was the 33 and Bins the 31, but nope, the other way around. I'm not at 100% with my math yet on race 100, ladies and gentlemen. But with that said, you can still inspire confidence in the fact that I will have the unofficial, live point tracker still going after each of the stages tonight.
Potential trouble here for Sears as he started to fall back a couple spots, now behind Jason Butler and Mike Marini.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe there was a little bit of a wiggle in one of the turns. Again, we haven't gone back for that, and I don't know if we will necessarily, depending on when it happened. But yeah, we know what the end product is here, and that's a few positions further down the field for Charlie Sears, but still a long way to go.
And these guys are just not giving up on battling for the stage 1 win. The 0 and the 17. Man, oh man, look at the swerving.
Yeah, and I was going to say, Kalinian doing absolutely everything to try and break the draft here, like borderline Newgarden-esque on that straightaway. But Colley's got the inside run. Again, we'll see if Kalinian uses the high banking, but the 17's through.
And again, Magram and Wilson are pretty close too. If anything happens with those top 2 guys, they are ready to pounce with the conjoined Tornado Alley E-Racing effort. I mean, look at the number 17 really utilizing that high line. He's been doing that pretty much in every single corner, especially the last one. And now he's back to the race lead, about 3/10 or so ahead of Kalinian here on lap 11.
I mean, with the drafting we've seen, like 3/10 almost feels like an eternity, doesn't it, by comparison?
Couple of drivers that have been here since day 1, and Mike Marini and Jason Butler going at it for the 16th position.
Yeah, and Mikey's one of those guys, he's trying to hang on to one of those final playoff spots. We've got, obviously, 8 of the 12 have been decided by way of victory to this point, and there will be at least one driver who gets in on points. Maybe more if we get more repeat winners, but you know what? If you're at the bottom toward that bubble, you kind of got to go all out. And if you're Mike Marini, I don't know how comfortable you are in the lower midfield of the pack.
Kalinian diving onto the inside once again, trying to keep up with McCauley's pace right there off of 2. Really good exit there by the 17, though, of course, with that middle to high line. Entry and exit.
But don't look now. Potentially a tornado looking to swallow him up. Maybe 2.
Oh, trouble.
Or...
Oh. Not ideal for last week's winner.
No, indeed not. But it got us a quick cut back to the start-finish straight. Let's just see, coming out of 1. Oh! 1 and done.
Gets loose on corner exit.
Ooh.
And then a wheel lock and bam.
Yeah, that was a heavy hit. We'll have to see if there's going to be damage repair time here, or whether he's just going to say, you know, take the rest of the evening. Again, the decision would be a lot clearer if he didn't have the win. But yeah, we'll see what Charlie Sears decides to do. I have a feeling he might be in pit lane for a while.
He has disappeared off the timing screen here so far. So I'll have to kind of wait it out and see if he'll try to keep going, and maybe try to grab a couple of points. But 3 laps to go here in stage 1. And it's been these two, a pair of familiar guys, the winningest drivers in the series, just going at it once more.
Yeah, Macaulay, obviously the all-time winningest driver, fitting the number 17, has 17 wins out of 99 across 5 years, and he's the only one to have victories across, well, in every single season.
Indeed so. One of the more accomplished drivers here within the Canadian Motorsports Network and the NASCAR series is, man, oh man, Bryce Fontaine and Justin Belmonte making a lot of contact there. 3 wide across the start-finish line. Or sorry, that's Kyle Knoll there. Jared Ireland. Clear the way ahead of them. Quite the swerve there.
Oh man. Yeah, he's running the Boot Hill Casino paint scheme, but I think he might have been kind of taking a bit too much of a chance there.
Some incredible action there coming off of turn 3, and then 3 abreast across the line. Jared Ireland takes advantage and takes the double pass. And then
grabs a couple of projected stage points there too.
Oh man, look at those two really utilizing that high line, going more towards the middle off of corner exit. They're coming to the line for the white flag in stage 1. Who's it going to be? Take your pick.
Yeah, they're trying to render the Tornado Alley guys into a bit of a dust bowl here and just make it a 2-car race. And you know what? If you're benefiting from the draft right now, I feel like it's advantage Kalinian, but Macaulay's more than capable of defending that. Kalinian tucks back in. Oh, a bit of a bump there, I think.
Got into the wall just a little bit. Look at that 17. Man, oh man, getting through the corners. You see the car just barely with a bit of a angle there.
Oh, dive here, though, from Kalinian.
Oh, man, he's loose.
Oh, yeah, I think Macaulay's going to hang on here.
Corbin Macaulay taking stage 1. Kalinian will take 2nd. Wilson 3rd. Magrum 4th. 5th goes to 4th. 6th, Andy Hurdle. Will Kern 7th. Trevor Binns 8th. Belmonte 9th. And Kyle Knoll will round out the top 10 by the looks of it. But, of course, we will get a quick replay just to make sure.
Yeah, I mean, no shortage of action from, the top of the field down.
And there's the replay there. The slide from Kalinian. Man, oh man, the racecraft out of him to make sure he wasn't going to make contact with Macaulay. And yes,
well,
the order.
At the time, you thought that, that wall tap going into 2 from Kalinian, that was going to give Corbin Macaulay, the fresh air that he needed, or the breathing room, I guess I'm looking for. But, yeah, Kalinian, he made a game of that at the line.
so everybody is caught up to the iRacing pace car here off of turn 2. And just judging by this stage 1 order, I imagine when it comes to the points, then there's nothing too special.
It doesn't appear to be. I'm just kind of getting everything into the right order here now. But yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of movement one way or the other. Let's just see. All right, so that should be up to date now, and yeah, our bubble gap is still, or it's at 34 points with Kyle Knoll up on Jason Heaney. Although, I wonder if my formulas didn't quite click in because I put them in, but yeah, I don't know if they fully went. Let's just see. I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted.
Of course, as everybody's come down pit road under this stage 1 mandatory caution. And I can confirm, it does even say it on the leaderboard, Charlie Sears is done.
Yeah, and that's what Jonathan Swainson, who joins us in the YouTube chat, was kind of thinking. A little bit of a slide job gone wrong there for the 32 was his analysis. And good to see you, Jonathan. Again, former Dart/IndyCar Series driver. Maybe we'll see him again soon. Hint, hint.
Indeed so. It looks like everybody took 4 tires and fuel under this stage caution. Although, am I seeing a glitch or did... Okay, so the 17 did get 4 tires, but why did I get a 0.88 on the pit stop times?
That's a fantastic question. I know it. Well, certainly it's dropped into 3rd. Okay, now I've got everything updated. So note for all you kids out there, whenever you add columns to your formulas, make sure you update that cell where everything's going to get added up. So that's what happened. That's why everything looked wrong. So yeah, now the gap has moved to 35 points. So yes, that was all over 1 point. Kyle Knoll over Jason Heaney for that final spot, but Justin Belmonte claws 1 point closer, still 38 back. But we've seen him, well, we saw him win 3 times last season. Again, if he wins from outside the 12, nobody is safe.
So if my math serves correctly, we're going to have a restart here with about 27 laps to go. So 27 lap shootout to solve the second and middle stage of tonight's Forked Over 200 at Pocono.
Yeah, and perhaps remind the fan base and maybe a partially distracted and clueless color commentator of what the fuel window was.
That would be 15 to 18 laps.
Okay, so yeah, we'll see a green flag stop in each of stages 2 and 3. So assuming, we don't have any, on-track yellows.
Yeah, it's usually if 1 stage or 2 stages go just fine. I mean, we did have what happened with Charlie Sears, but for most of the field, if everything goes fine for at least 1 full stage or 2 full stages, then usually the calamity starts to ensue from there, but we'll just have to see how this plays out.
Well, it wouldn't be the NASCAR series if it didn't.
That would be correct, as humid.
Yeah, just a little.
I was told I apparently had missed out on using that tab for quite some time, so I finally did, as we now get back underway here in the Forked River 200. Stage 2, green flag, Jordan Kalinian leading the field.
Brighter days ahead now that we're using the weather tab again. Let's go. 100 races and we're still only getting better. Kind of.
Whoa, loose moment right there from CD Magram. He's able to keep his car straight and going forward, as we saw how spread out everybody was there going through turn 1. That was quite the sight to see. And what is certainly a nice sight to see right now is the number 33 Mobile One Toyota of Trevor Binns in 5th place.
Yeah, again, another guy outside the 12. Nobody is safe right now. Like, Binns, yeah, he's tied with Tom Janikowski right now, 61 back of Kyle Knoll for that final spot on points alone. But again, like I was talking about with Justin Belmonte, if he can string together a finish and, you know, get to the head of the field tonight, yeah, things are just going to get tighter and tighter.
Look at this draft that Wilson and McCauley are getting off of Kalinian here down the back straightaway into turn 2. Put a blanket over the top 3 right now. Wilson slides up the track. McCauley takes advantage on the inside.
Yeah, and you got Mangrum trying to hang around there, and very much doing so after his little mini adventure on the first green flag lap of this stage. Oh, bit of a touch there from Wilson.
And a bump draft, too.
Just a little, and yeah, Mangrum's going to make it a party of 3 here. Ah, should have said Three's Company. That's the better reference. Party of 5 maybe later on for those 90s sitcom viewers.
Side by side once again for that second spot into turn 2 on lap 23 of 80. Wilson clears the way. Kalinian ahead by almost a second of everybody else here.
By comparison to stage 1, he's got to be wondering where the hell everybody is.
Whoa, Kyle Knoll.
I mean, there's breaking a draft and then maybe not quite what he had in mind.
Maybe a save, because it did look like there were a couple things got a little tight there, as especially Jared Ireland does too. Sends Will Kern up into the outside wall. But they're still going. Ireland clears the way. The number 6 and 15 are almost like magnets. We saw them back in stage 1 close together. Could have put a blanket over about 5 or 6 cars here going through turn 2.
And
oh man,
foes,
still contact.
No! Yeah, door to door here.
Jeez, nobody's playing friendly with Belmonte in his return.
Would you? Respectfully, like, you know the speed he has, and you know how sustained he can have that speed. Like, you remember that run at Dover where he was absolutely destroying the field before ultimately winding up getting caught up in some contact. But again, he's a guy who won 3 times last year. Like, you know that he's got the speed. You know he is a threat. And especially Knoll, he's the guy trying to protect that spot. Of course he's going to race Justin Belmonte harder.
Change for position in second place. The 17 finally getting past the 21. Most of the field has single filed out here on lap 25. Kalinian just slowly increasing his lead. There's McCauley back on that high line. We saw him on the inside during those battles there in the early laps of the restart.
Yeah, again, Nothing settled here, though, but it feels like, you know, Belmonte and Knoll are just going to be glued to each other here for the majority of the evening.
So yeah, close battles here between 7th and 10th, and what I was going to refer to earlier again, as we were talking about with Belmonte, knowing like nobody wants to play friendly with him, but he's certainly not going to want to play friendly with anybody else, with him again being 38 points below the cut line, and Knoll is 35 above, and Belmonte still has Jason Heaney 3 points ahead of him, so it's more than likely going to need to be a win for the number 6, which he could easily be able to get the job done on paper. It's just a matter of being able to capitalize on it. Kind of like, again, as we were talking about back at Dover, Belmonte, that speedy head was absolutely wild. But then Corbin McCauley and Adam Wilson start to get in on the action. And then Belmonte maybe trying a little bit too hard going into one, sends it down the inside. He and the 17 both go around. Adam Wilson goes on to get his first career win in the series.
Yeah, Belmonte, you know, as we've talked about, like, got to find the limits of, you know, the car. And, I mean, yeah, ultimately he got kind of caught up in it. And, I mean, he was looking really good right up until that happened. Like, this could have been a conversation that was put away a long time ago. But, yeah, ultimately...
Whoa, contact!
Oh, boy!
2 cars
Tomlinson
go around off the final corner. I think both of them might have been able to keep it off the wall. That's Mason Tomlinson and Darcy Ford.
Ooh.
No caution.
Well, I mean, I guess they got on the other side of the pit wall. Ford back on track. Tomlinson not so much. Just take the early stop. Kind of forced the Four's hand here. Let's see. And yeah. Oof.
Oh no, Ford definitely got the wall, but man, oh man, Tomlinson, I think, may have had the save of the season? Woo!
Yeah, the fact that he didn't hit anything is, you know, rather ridiculous. And I mean, if you remember some of the trials and tribulations that Tomlinson has had earlier in the year, I wonder if he had to give up one of those injured ribs to make that save. Yeah, just... tough one to judge. But, yeah, Ford comes up. Didn't look like Tomlinson was coming down.
Yeah, Tomlinson seemed to hold his line, and then Ford just with a bit of a slide up the track. I mean, we've been seeing it throughout this race. We saw Jared Ireland and Will Kern, I believe, getting together there a little earlier. Charlie Sears, again, with the slide, and then tries to keep that car straight, but just at those speeds off that corner exit, and just sends it up head on to the outside wall. I mean, you just saw it there. Wilson slides up into the outside wall. There's somebody almost doing a wall ride, I think. Even
and that close to somebody it. I was going to say that somebody is not Ross Chastain, of course. Yeah, let's take another look.
Jason Butler.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's one way to do it, I guess. Keep you in a straight line, if nothing else.
Even McCauley had a moment there coming off the corner. We barely just changed the camera to get on these two because they're getting back together for possibly another battle. About half a second or so separating these two. 17 quickly starting to catch back up. But Adam Wilson is also possibly in there as a bunch of cars really going at it here for what looks to be about 5th to 9th.
Yeah, look at old Jaws Belmonte trying to make his way up. You can almost hear it, can't you? Da-da. YouTube, please don't copyright strike us.
Whoa, Jared Ireland smacked the outside wall there.
Again, guys just absolutely pushing it here. And, knowing what's at stake, yes, Ireland has that win, but again, after he missed 3 weeks, he would love to kind of further consolidate his status in the playoffs. And, I mean, you see a guy like Andy Hurdle getting more and more confident as well. You saw Heaney in that mix, another guy who's very much, in that playoff bubble conversation, and, again, is almost in must-win territory if he's not there now. With that said, probably within 5 laps of the pit window here, no?
Maybe so. We'll have to wait and see here as we're on board with the number 17, Corbin McCauley, trying to catch back up to Kalinian. Really, again, commanding that high side as he has for most of this race, and you saw him with a bit of a slide there. But again, knowing how accomplished this man is, his racecraft, whew.
Yeah, and again, it's been a minute since he's won. You don't think he's going to be hungry for something? I was going to say, that looks a little bit smoky to be a regular pit stop. Yikes.
Bryce Fontaine getting loose off the corner.
Well, I mean, if that was the planned pit stop, goes without saying it feels like a speeding penalty would also be attached. But we'll see.
Well, I mean, there's the laps since last pit, so these guys are certainly getting close to the pit window, the green flag pit window here in the middle of stage 2.
Yeah, you said roughly 15 to 18 was the expectation, so yeah, you'd think next couple laps, perhaps.
So Jason Heaney, the number 9.
And again, he was running like just outside the top 10, so we'll see what kind of response that triggers from the rest of the field. I think that's, we'll let in behind him. But yeah, we'll see what kind of an outlap Heaney can put together. And we'll see if he can grab himself a couple of places and, a couple of important stage points. He needs everything right now.
Absolutely. Now Mason Tomlinson comes down.
That'd be a second stop unless he just pretty much drove through the pit lane after that incident with Darcy Ford.
And man, oh man, look at the battle going on in between these guys once more, 6th through 10th.
I mean, it's been that way pretty much the entire evening here. Like, a lot of guys kind of, well, it's more single file than your full-on double pack. But, you know what? Nobody's letting anyone get away here, really. And the racing's all the better for it.
Oh, and there goes Kalinian to pit road.
All right, so again, we'll have to see if there's a response from Corbin McCauley on the other side, whether he comes in immediately, decides to stay out an extra lap. We'll see how that 17's feeling as the 0 gets its green flag treatment here.
So yeah, everybody's going for right side tires for sure. We'll see if anybody decides to take just 2. Looks like, okay, so Magram's going to take just 2. Kalinian's going to take all 4. Hurdle takes 4. I think Binns only took 2.
Well, 12 laps. Track position's one thing as McCauley comes in for the immediate response.
Justin Belmonte comes down as well, so does Kyle Knoll. Jose Mercado back on pit road?
I was going to say, was he in before? May have missed it.
I could have sworn he was.
I mean, it's quite possible.
Macaulay goes for 4. I think Belmonte might have taken just fuel. Knoll, I think, just took 2 tires.
Yeah, Belmonte had to do something to jump the 17 there. Obviously, some kind of alternate strategy to try and see him through these last 11 laps of the stage. But yeah, the top 2 for the course of the night, both taking all 4.
And meanwhile, the top 6 still have yet to come down pit road. Everybody else appears to have come down. So Adam Wilson leading the way by about 2.5 seconds over Will Kern. As everybody cycles back out, Macaulay ahead of Kalinian. And now the 17 is going to get by the 6 on those, again, on those 4 fresher tires.
Yeah, 4 fresh tires versus maybe no new tires for the 6. That was pretty much game over.
So we'll see how the rest of this pit window cycles out. It looks like Wilson is now going to make his way down. A nearly awkward exit off the final corner, but smoothly onto the pit lane. Jared Ireland's now going to come down, so the race lead is now going to go to Will Kern. As Marini and Young now make it down as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, we kind of glossed over the fact that the extra lap allowed Macaulay to emerge ahead of Kalinian here, didn't we? Like, it was briefly mentioned, but it just kind of in passing. That's not an insignificant move.
Absolutely not.
As, yeah, Ford makes his way out. We'll get another look at what he took.
Looks like Wilson, interesting call there for no tires.
Well, we'll see how the old tire whisperers decide to work out. Now Darcy Ford's in and out. Man, I really need to not have the YouTube stream up at the same time as my commentary window. But it wouldn't be the NASCAR series if I wasn't doing something absolutely ridiculous while broadcasting.
Oh, whoa, look at this. Kalini and Belmonte. And then Wilson together there. Now the game's changed here. Macaulay's still up front here at it once Will Kern eventually comes down pit road to conclude the cycle. But it's CD Magram instead of cleaning up here. Although the 0, I can only imagine, is going to start catching quick.
Well, yeah, again, you're thinking probably the extra time allocated to taking the 4 tires for Kalinian, and we thought it was only 2 that Magram took. So you'd have to think eventually, as you say, that gap is going to close up. But you still have to run the laps. And now they've passed Kern on the track. An interesting call from Will here to stay out significantly longer, it has to be said, than anybody else. Like, we're talking probably, what, 5 or 6 laps that the other guys pitted by now?
I mean, you look at the laps since
Maybe
last
more?
pit, Kern just came down, and it looks like, based on his pit stop time, he only took fuel to maybe try to grab a couple extra points here up front. But more than likely, he's going to get jumped by a couple more of these guys. Macaulay and Magram just got by him for first and second place as They're coming to, I believe, 7 laps to go now in this second stage. Oh, contact!
Oh, Kalinian!
Caution is out into the barrels, maybe. Was the 31 of Will Kern. Contact with Kalinian.
Yeah, not sure if it was a loose moment or not, but I do know that, Kalinian, I mean, I don't think it was intentional by any means, but Kern was sent, careening into the barrier. Yeah, maybe a little touch there.
Oh no, he barely missed the barrels by the looks of it, but it doesn't help that he's still got the Geico barrier. Does he have insurance?
Well, what he doesn't have is a fast repair, which, I mean, that's probably the best decision we ever made in moving to iRacing once that change was made last year.
Yeah, Kalinian slid up just a little bit there. It's kind of like the earlier situation we saw with Tomlinson and Ford. 64 sliding up down low, and now it's a 6 against the 31.
Yeah, difference between this one being a caution and, the Tomlinson and Ford incident, those two guys got on the other side of the barrier. Kern stays on track, full course yellow.
Well, take a look at this in slow motion, because maybe Kern slightly came down at the same time, and that's close to call. But regardless, still not the outcome that anybody would have wanted there.
Indeed not. And yeah, now this makes things very interesting. Late caution before the end of a stage. I'd imagine everyone who's just come in for, their regularly scheduled pit stops, I'd imagine, track position at a premium, since we're looking at, probably 2 laps at most of green? Maybe 3?
So yeah, it's 6 laps to go until the end of the second and middle stage, with the 17 leading the way. He's led 13 laps in this one thus far. Again, looking for what would be his first win of the season since Phoenix back on April 2nd.
Round 3, yeah.
Yeah, I won the Rampage Coffee Co. 250. He won back-to-back at Las Vegas and Phoenix. That was also around the time where he had scored 3 poles in a row, and then, of course, tonight he claims his first pole since in the early rounds of the season. So finally, that stretch of he's still qualified up front most of the time there, but is not able to get that number 1 front position. It's just, and again, too, the luck in terms of wins was just not there either. But he's looking to finally break that little winless stretch here tonight. Definitely one of the top contenders here in race number 100. And I mean, there's no better person to do it than somebody that's been here since day 1.
Yeah, I mean, to kind of twist the infamous Ricky Bobby's words, yeah, he said if you ain't first, you're last. I would argue, if you're going to be first, do it on the last lap. Again, it's been a couple of months since Macaulay's actually found himself in victory lane, like we said. And I mentioned earlier, you'd have to think he's hungry to break that drought and, get some positive vibes back on his side headed to the playoffs. This might be a perfect place to do it.
So it looks like nobody decided to come down pit road to possibly make a gamble here at the end of the second stage. But if my math serves correctly, it's going to be a 4-lap shootout.
Okay, so the caution not lasting quite as long as I thought. That's good for us. Who's yelling in the background?
I think somebody thought it was a green-white checker, but maybe I was the one doing the math correct.
Well, I mean, we'll find out soon enough. but I definitely heard the background voice as that was going on.
I mean, again, race analysis, 16 plus 32 is 48.
It is.
But regardless, not much time. Time's ticking. Got to scramble here for this second stage. So, again, we didn't get a caution on the incident there between Tomlinson and Ford, which, again, involving 2 cars. But then the one with Kern, and then Kalinin still keeps the car going straight. I mean, that's good old iRacing race control there for you. That's the way it goes here in the Canadian Motorsports Network NASCAR series. But regardless, time's ticking. 4 laps to go here in stage 2. The number 17 with the jump on the restart. It's going to be side by side throughout the rest of the field. Oh man, Andy Hurdle dives down low. 3 wide, possibly into 1, almost 4 wide in the back.
Yeah, 10 miles looking for 10 stage points here. And everybody's in it.
Yikes! They're still going, but close action there between... Sorry.
Is that a bit of a hop I saw?
Oh, the 7 and the 15 are getting real close. Oh, they still are going through turn 2. Man, oh man, how is everybody keeping it straight?
Yeah, it's a wonder, and, you know, a fabulous one at that, it has to be said.
So the number 17 has cleared the way up front for the lead, but it's Magram and Kalinian going at it for second place. Top 3 clear, and then it's Justin Belmonte versus Trevor Binns for the 4th spot. Lots of jostling back throughout the rest of the field, with now 3 laps to go in the stage. Oh, there's one car back there in the outside wall. I think that's Hunter Young. Indeed it is.
And again, positions 4 and 5, like, if this was stage 3, and, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we get into this situation at that point. If you have those 2 guys outside the playoff picture right now, you have to wonder just how brave they're going to be in the last couple laps. We'll see if we get a bit of an exhibition here now.
Kalinian with a dive bomb for second place. He barely slides up ahead. Oh, there's trouble for Belmonte.
I think.
He saves it. Besides hitting the outside wall, but he's still going.
Yeah, and dropping outside of the top 10, so that's valuable stage points gone by the wayside.
And then back up front, Ireland and Hurdle. Trying to get that 1 extra stage point there inside the bottom of the top 5. Trevor Binns looking to make it 4th right there. Kalini and Magram getting real close there for second place. Now the lap and a half to go in stage 2.
Yeah, you've got McCauley looking to sweep the stages. Belmonte putting on a charge here, trying to recoup after that incident out of turn 4. That's, of course, the NASCAR version of WTF for tonight.
Oh, man, Trevor Binns is on absolute defense right now. He's got, 5, 6 cars behind him looking to get that 4th spot.
Yeah, but again, Binns needs it. Noel's the guy on the bubble right now, so that'd be a 2-point swing if Binns can hold on without binning it, so to speak.
Jeez.
I mean, I didn't wish it on him. I hope he keeps it going. This is a great defense here. But Ireland might have something to say about that.
Coming off the final corner here for the stage checker flag, it looks like it's going to be once again the 17 of Corbin McCauley. 3 wide across the line for 4th.
Oh, Ben's got 4th back. Well done.
But who got 5th?
Board saying Ireland. Before we see that, I kind of want to see what happened to Belmonte to get him all wrong out of turn 3 / turn 4.
So we'll first get back here just to get the stage 1 order very quickly. So it was Macaulay, Kalina, Magram, Binns. Ireland barely hangs on there. Knoll 6th, Hurdles 7th, Heaney 8th, Tomlinson 9th, Adam Wilson rounding out the top 10. But now, of course, we have to go back and check out what happened with the number 6 of Justin Belmonte.
I will say that's a hell of a recovery from Tomlinson to grab those 2 points after that early incident.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think the caution probably helped him, but still, oh, here we go.
Yeah, just the car just went on him, and actually, I don't think he even tapped the wall there. Just a really good save by the number 6, who was able to charge a little slightly back up there to 13th. But man, oh man, he was in the running for a possible top 5 stage result.
Yeah, he was like all systems go, just slicing through the field. Maybe not quite the same pace as Dover, but, you know, enough to be a significant threat.
So make that 8 stage wins on the season, if I'm looking at the statistics correctly, for Corbin Macaulay.
You are. Yep.
Good to know.
They're not all done yet, but that one is very much put in.
I see we got a lot of CD Mangrum fans here in the chats. I mean, he's 3rd place. I mean, it's just trying to find similar pace here to the 17 and the 0, who have been the absolute dominators of this one thus far. But Mangrum is right there. He's pretty much the number 1 guy rate of pounds. I mean, again, if we talk points wise, Mangrum was the best of the rest for several weeks in a row until he finally got that first win that locked him into the 5th annual Earl Ross Cup playoffs at Iowa Speedway. So again, going from best of the rest in points to now here tonight, maybe the best of the rest again behind the 2 statistically best drivers of season 5 thus far, as everybody comes down pit road under this stage caution.
All right, now I've got everything up to date on my side of things. The bubble keeps expanding here for Kyle Knoll. 37 now his gap between himself and Jason Heaney on the bubble. Justin Belmonte is 43 below the cut line right now. Trevor Binns is the name to watch right now, though. 59 out, but just grabbed 7 stage points. So he's a contender. He's in it to win it. Dark Horse might be a bit of a stretch, but you know what? Let's see another shakeup. Why not?
So it looks like most cars went for 4 tires and fuel. It looks like Wilson and I believe...
Who went sideways in the background?
Yeah, it's just Wilson taking the 2 tires there. But yeah, actually, I did catch that, so we'll go back and check out what happened here. Not clear.
Oh. Yeah, just a little. Oh, okay, yep. I mean, there's the guys have gotten close over the years. That's a little too close there, gents. That might have been, was that Darcy Ford?
That was Ford, yeah. Butler. I believe Butler tried to get to his box, but Darcy Ford was there.
Getting into the 100th race, post-race shenanigans, maybe a stage early here, guys. As, yeah, we got someone casually reversing in the background.
Okay, so if my eyes serve correctly, Wilson took 2 tires. Pretty much everybody else, besides Kern, took 4. Janikowski might have taken just fuel or maybe just 2 tires there, but this is going to be interesting to see. 21 only taking right side tires. Will Kern choosing to go with just fuel. And then everybody else behind them. This might be a... I'm trying to think of the term. I can't think of it.
I believe in German they call it a Klausterfucken, but I can't, swear. in English on the air here. But I think you get the idea. It could be chaotic.
Maybe suspicious is the term. I'm very suspicious about how this might go.
All right. Let's not turn it into a murder mystery or anything.
And thus it's going to be 28 laps to go in the Forked River 200, the second annual Forked River 200 here at Pocono Raceway, round 13 at 22. It's been all Corbin McCauley with the 2-stage wins thus far. It's just a matter of being able to hang on over guys like Jordan Kalinian and C.D. Magram and everybody else. And I would love to do a crank it up right now, but I'm just, something in my gut's telling me just wait a little bit.
Yeah, I would say give it a few laps again if we're looking at a ton of different strategies here. But, I mean, no pace car. Let's find out.
And the final stage of the Forked River 200 is underway. Adam Wilson getting the jump. We'll see how everybody shuffles out here as the 17 already going to the high side on those 4 fresher tires.
Yeah, I don't know how much of a jump that was. Might have been like, a little baby in a jumper.
Wilson's still clear ahead, but that 17 is going to get quite the draft going into turn 2.
Yeah, I think if you're Corbin McCauley, it feels like you can almost just bide your time. You've got the strategic advantage. 4 tires over, we suspect 2 for Adam Wilson.
That's what I believe my eyes caught there, just the right sides. So Wilson will lead that lap. But the number 17 is right there on his back bumper, looking to retake the race lead. And here comes McCauley to the inside. Wilson stays up high. Couple of jostling back and forth there. Down the back straightaway. The 17 will attempt to clear the way here through turn 2. And he will.
Yeah, it felt academic. And I said, it felt like Corbin McCauley could be patient and just pick his moment. Didn't really need to make the move immediately. But, I mean, less danger if you're at the front of the field. So why not just get it out of the way?
Trevor Benz might have gone to the outside wall there coming off of 3. That gave a bunch of cars a big run down the front stretch to pass him. I believe Ireland, Hurdle, Knoll were in there. Oh, contact Belmonte with the slide. He saves it.
Yeah, that is another save. He and Benz nearly getting into it. Oh!
A little bit more carnage there. They were not done just yet. A lot of cars having problems through turn 1. Everybody keeping it going, though.
Yeah, mostly back to single file. Well, I was about to say that. More day 1 bedfellows there. Was that Marini, Mercado, and Ford, the 3 day 1 guys?
That would be Hunter Young, actually. Mercado's ahead of them. Oh, look at that slide there from Fontaine below Young.
I was going to say, I thought I had seen yellow in one of those 3 cars at the time.
Jeez, these guys are not letting go of each other one bit.
I mean, again, why would you? You know how competitive this field is. I don't think anyone's going to give the other guy an inch as we see even more contact there. I think that was Heaney with a bit of a tap out of 1.
A huge dive right there from the 15. Kyle Knoll battling Hurdle for the 7th spot. Number 7 in 7th.
Yeah, the old storm surge getting, stopped short going into turn 2.
I think it was definitely a good decision to kind of let things shake up. Here's, Will Kern with a loose moment off the corner. He saves it. That's going to give major momentum to the number 7 and the 15. So Hurdle's going to get by. Not just yet.
Yeah, Hurdle might. Noel's going to have a bigger challenge, though.
Might have jumped the gun a little bit there. We'll see how they exit off the corner. No, still side by side.
Yeah, Kern maybe with a little bit more of a draft benefit because Hurdle didn't really have Ireland in front of him until he dove into 2.
So Macaulay has opened up a half a second or so lead here because there's a lot of battles going on throughout the rest of the top 5 and top 10. But we're gonna go a lot more in depth and up close and personal with these cars. Of course, now might as well get it done and over with in case the rest of this race ends up a little bit more chaotic. We saw a couple of chaos there within the last couple of laps here for the start of the final stage. So, TrackGames22.com, we thank them very much for supporting us with these fantastic broadcast angles here on the iRacing platform. Has really enhanced our live productions here within the Canadian Motorsports Network. So it's the good old TrackGames22.com, number 100, crank it up. So that was the TrackCams22.com. Crank it up once again, thank you very much to them. And of course, to all the other sponsors and partners for supporting the Canadian eMotorsports Network. Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue is the title sponsor of the NASCAR series, supporting us, powering us here through Season 5. Rampage Coffee Co., Pipe and Kettle Soup, Fort River Brewing Company, of course, the title sponsor for tonight's event. Bangarang Hard Seltzer, Nordic Aluminum, GSGSG Vinyl 3D, and of course, the team/sponsor, GTR.
Indeed, and while you were giving those, yeah, you went to the right spot that I was about to tip you off to.
So 3 cars down pit road. Kern is going to go for 4 fresh tires and fuel. Jason Heaney looks like he went for just right size. Janikowski went for 4.
Yeah, 17 to go. That might be a smidge earlier than we were expecting, but it might trigger some more stuff. Here comes Adam Wilson from second.
Yeah, now is 16 laps to go. If we look at the laps since last pit for everybody, 14 laps now for... Yeah, as you see it changing there for almost everybody except the guys that just came down. So most certainly the green flag pit window coming up here soon. But again, you never know if something else could happen. We saw there during the crank it up as, oh man, we got a whole waddle of cars down pit road.
We do, and yeah, you'd have to wonder. I think they're playing it just right for the fuel mileage game here, but maybe that plays a part in things here as we look toward the end. Because again, we were looking at the window of about 15 to 18 laps, 16 to go. So maybe.
So most of them going for 4 tires. I think Fontaine might have just went for right sides, taking a bit of a gamble there. So a quick replay on that just to verify. Indeed.
Yeah, a lot of ups and downs and ups and downs. The way those cars were going up and down, it almost looked like an episode of Pimp My Ride. I do not have an exhibit impression, though, thank God.
More cars down pit road. That's Darcy Ford, Justin Belmonte, and Trevor Binns. It looks like Binns went for just right sides. Belmonte and Ford going for 4 tires.
Yeah, that feels like the sensible play to make sure you get yourself to the end. But there might be something to be said for taking a bit of a chance here. We see Binns having a bit of a moment in his pit box.
So yeah, Binns only went for right, I believe, only goes for right sides, but he did not get into his box very well. So
and I'd argue that cost him the spot over Belmonte.
Exactly. That definitely will play a factor in how this all finishes out. As, again, if we look at laps since last pit, the top 7 still have yet to come down, including your race leader and stages 1 and 2 winner, Colin McCauley.
Indeed so. And the other factor is, like, if he's able to match Jordan Kalinian on 3 wins, you know, based on overall points, that would lock him back in as the top seed as Kalinian and Mangrum come in.
I wonder if that smoke might possibly...
A little too much heat, perhaps?
That's what I'm speculating, but we'll see here once these two get into their pit boxes with now 13 laps to go. So we'll see. Kalinian just has the regular stop and he goes 14-15 seconds-ish, then looks like he was just fine. It looks like he and Mangrum are both going to go. Oh no, Mangrum just the right sides. Kalinian's going to go all 4. And no penalty.
Yeah, that's a very important distinction there. We were wondering, but yeah, obviously Kalinian able to jam down on that brake just enough time to get under the pit limit. And here's the immediate response.
Yep, that's 4 cars down pit road. McCauley, Ireland, Hurdle, and Knoll.
Yeah, the board doesn't deceive you for sure.
So Ireland's going for 4. McCauley's going for 4.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Knoll, I think, made a big gamble.
I mean, track position, potentially. He just slips out behind McCauley. But, yeah, if he had a thought of, getting the win and eliminating himself from the bubble conversation, trying to alleviate any additional stress, why not go for the gamble? It wouldn't be the first time he's done it, that's for sure.
So McCauley took 4, Magram took 2, Knoll took 0. Kalinian took 4, Wilson, I believe, took 4, Hurdle took 2, Ireland took 4. Looks like Heaney might have taken just 2. Belmonte 4. So now with 12 laps to go, as looks as though everybody has cycled through this green flag pit window. Indeed they have. Looks like it's going to be, for now, McCauley and Magram going at it for the win.
Yeah, suddenly that gap tightened right up, didn't it? Because McCauley, his lead was well over a second, I believe, at one point.
Could we have the potential late race stealing victory like Magram did back at Iowa?
I mean, I feel like anything's possible. And it wouldn't be a milestone race if there weren't some kind of fireworks.
Especially for race 100, if you want to put your name into the history books as the first winner of the triple-digit era. That has now begun here within the Canadian Motorsports Network NASCAR Series. Corbin McCauley certainly wants to get his name into the history books once again. Again, too, with the winless stretch that he has, getting the 2 wins back at Las Vegas and Phoenix, also scoring 3 poles in a row. But then there's that long stretch of no ones, and then he gets the pole tonight. The wins in stages 1 and 2. Now looking to finally get that one more race win.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a strange couple of months here for Corbin McCauley, but you know what? He wants to get things righted a little bit. Shape might be a good way to put it.
Yes, sir.
You knew I couldn't let that one go, right?
Well, as long as we don't describe it in Urban Dictionary terms, it's all good.
Yeah, maybe keep your filters on, kids.
So with 9 laps to go, how this is all cycled out, McCauley almost half a second over Magram. Kyle Knoll has still hung on for 3rd. Kalinian looks to be quickly approaching now, though now a 2nd back. Wilson's right behind him in 5th. Hurdle is 6th. Ireland 7th. Belmonte hanging on in 8th right now. So
yeah, that doesn't help Belmonte at all, though, because the guy he's chasing is 5 spots up. So it'll just be further than when he started.
Exactly. And now with pretty much almost everybody separated here, more than likely this one's going to go till the end, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, we saw, pretty tight racing in the first 2 stages, and really a wonder that we only had the one on-track caution.
Oh, whoa.
Wait, what was I saying?
Bryce Fontaine with a moment off of 3.
And that's not the first time he's done that tonight.
I almost said 4, I will admit that.
Yeah, never had it.
A little bit of a fast and furious drift. Keeps the car
That's what
going.
I was thinking.
Yeah, it keeps the car going straight, though. That's what matters.
Yep.
Oh, and there it is. Kalinian has finally gotten past Knoll for the 3rd spot. But is 4.5 seconds back of McCauley with 7 laps to go.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, he's not close enough to the back of Bangarang to make an impact through a draft either. So that means Noel's going to stick with him. So Kalinian's going to have to keep fighting that, at least for a little bit. You'd have to think the tire advantage will eventually favor Kalinian in the long run. But at the same time, you know, if he's still fighting for the position, that just allows McCauley and Bangarang to get away and effectively make it a 2-car race here to the end.
And especially for someone like Noel, this is really helping him too, since of course he does currently hold that 12th and final playoff spot, with pretty much all winning drivers up front and surrounding him. All the more safe there at plus 37, as it looked as though there was a couple moments there between Noel, Wilson, Tomlinson, Hurdle trying to get in the mix as well. Got a three-car battle for fourth.
Yes, I'm glad you said 3, because notably Tomlinson a lap down within that particular quartet.
Indeed. But again, though, still, this is really good points and such for Noel if he is able to hang on. As I'm saying that, Wilson is keeping it close.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah, Noel might have had a wiggle.
I think Wilson did as well. So 3, this has been the action spot here tonight. But it looks like everyone's going to keep their distance here.
Oh, they're touching doors across the line. 5 laps to go for the 17. But again, as I was trying to say, as long as Noel can hang on here for a top 5, top 10 finish, that's still great points, knowing that he's surrounded by drivers that are already well in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I mean, it will further, reinforce the must-win nature for the guys who are behind him, your Heaney's, your Belmontes, your Bins. But after this week, we're only 2 races away from the end of the regular season. So even if all 3 of those guys wanted to, not all of them can win.
So Hurdle's going to try to clear Noel for the 5th position. He will. So Andy Hurdle looking for a top 5 finish here in tonight's Forked River 200. And then meanwhile up front right here by about half a second or so, the number 17 of Corbin McCauley looking to be well on his way to his 3rd win of the season and 18th career win, I believe. He got 17 at Phoenix. Yes. Okay.
Yep.
My memory served correctly. So the number 17, if he is able to collect this win here tonight, then he'll be 2 away from 20. And again, with this winless stretch that he's had, plus also, I guess you can say poleless stretch as well, a couple stage wins here and there, this will certainly be able to provide a momentum shift here for the 17 going into the playoffs, especially with Indianapolis and Rockingham coming up.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, the overall consistency's mostly been there, but a guy of Corbin McCauley's stature is the word I'm looking for, not statue. We haven't built that yet. He's not satisfied with anything other than a win is the point I'm trying to make here.
Yes.
And again, the fact that it's been a couple months here as we see Nolan Tomlinson here getting a little close for comfort. You know what? He'll be, he being Corbin McCauley in this case, will be just itching to get that monkey off his back. And as you said, go into the playoffs in a few weeks' time, riding a high.
Look who's back together.
Well, surprise, surprise. Oh, and they're dooring. Oh, man.
And there's 2
Definitely
laps to go.
Oh, right back at him.
And with 2 laps to go, again, McCauley just has to make it to the white flag for this to be official. But if these 2 get together, I think Noel had a loose moment there. Belmonte takes advantage. I think that might do it.
Yeah, it feels fairly academic at this point. As, there isn't Well, I say that. Who is that?
Well, that was Will Kern with a moment there off of turn 1. He saves it. But we got to get quickly back because the white flag is out. Final lap in round 13 of 22. Race number 100 in the Canadian eMotorsports Network NASCAR Series, being led by none other than a guy that's been here since day one, the number 17 of Corbin McCauley.
And again, if he's able to hold on for these last couple of miles, which right now, again, the lead's over a second, so it feels academic. But you know what? Again, long time coming for him. I'd imagine a little bit of frustration over the last couple of months. Yeah, you're locked into the playoffs, but again, a guy who's set winning as his expectation every time he goes out. Last couple of months had to have been a bit difficult, but it feels like everything's going to be all right now.
Into turn 3, coming out of what turn 4? Round 13 of 22, the Forked River 200 at Pocono Raceway. Career win number 18, win number 3 on the season. Give it to the number 17 of Corbin McCauley.
And of course, that completes the clean sweep for him tonight, both stages as well. 60 out of 60, well done, young man.
And for 9th, Darcy Ford barely taking it over Trevor Binns.
Yeah, and if you're Binns, like, again, he ran in the top 5 through the first 2 stages. 10th, you have to think that's a little bit of a disappointment there for him, especially knowing what was potentially at stake. But yeah, the field eventually kind of spread out, and Binns was kind of left in the dust. Yikes. Ooh, boy.
That's one way to end your race.
Yeah, I'd hope the old incident point counter was, in Fontaine's favor there. Because we have seen that kind of rear its ugly head a couple of times over the course of the season. And notably, McCauley now the only active driver to have won at Pocono here in the NASCAR Series. Ryan Gibson was the winner back in Season 1. On his way to a championship, it should be noted.
Ooh.
Granted, that would also break the Iowa curse, or Iowa, lucky charm if that was to go that way.
Yeah, you were reading my mind there, because Darcy Ford, Ty Higginbottom win at Iowa, and they go on to win the championship, but then C.D. Magrum wins the 3rd annual Iowa race, so with now McCauley winning the 2nd annual Forked River 200 here at Pocono Raceway, Ryan Gibson went on to win the title in 2020, and then 4 years later, McCauley, who again finished runner-up to him in that first season.
Something's got to give.
Indeed so. A forward Polish lap? Oh no, SV.
Sure,
oh no, the SVG kind of a thing. I think that's what might be. He might be referring to that. I might be wrong, but that's what comes to mind.
Yeah, just let him have his moment.
Oh yeah, he's definitely doing not near as successful, but he tried.
Yeah, there was an attempt. Okay. And yeah, it's been a little bit since he's gotten to do this as well.
So that's the number 17, Bolger Motorsports and Kawasaki Chevrolet going to victory lane for the 3rd time this season in the Forked River 200 at Pocono Raceway. He is your winner of race number 100 in Canadian Motorsports Network NASCAR Series, powered by Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue history. Okay, yeah, it makes sense. iRacing would have black flagged him if he drove the wrong way, so fair enough.
Yeah, can't be having that.
So now we might as well go trackside here with your winner here tonight at the virtual Pocono Raceway. Jordy, you can go ahead and send off some questions, and we'll see how long this guy blabbers on for.
I was going to say, are we doing that, or since it's him, do we pivot to the Discord so I can actually ask?
Oh, you know what? Maybe that is true, yes.
It's 100. I mean, it feels like we almost should, right?
Indeed.
Not that I'm trying to like bully my way into this, but seems smart.
No. I completely forgot about that. I appreciate the reminder.
No worries.
Yeah, we're going in the Discord.
Okay, yep, that's the call.
Just make sure you mute yourself in one software and then get yourself in the other.
Doing that now.
So just quickly in the muted loop here, because Discord will pop up on the screen. Wait, hold up. You're muted. Or at least I guess, oh yeah, you'd be in Discord now that I think about it.
Didn't need that visual is what I was going for.
We're just going to say nothing. We're going to
He
say
pointed it out.
We're going to say nothing.
I mean, you know, at the end of the night, the competition, you know, it was stiff at times, but, you know, it fell a little flat there at the end.
Anyways, hop in the Discord. Oh, gosh. All right. Do we got a copy race winner?
We certainly do have a copy commentator.
Earl.
Yes, commentators. Sorry. Yep.
Oh, what a great start to this. But yes, your winner of tonight's Forked River 200 at Pocono Raceway, the winner of race number 100 in the Canadian eMotorsports Network NASCAR Series, powered by Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue. No one better than a driver that has been here since day one. You saw him hopefully in the pre-race show if you were tuned in with us before tonight's event, where a couple of members of the network provided us with some nice message videos talking about their journeys throughout the network since they've arrived, and, you know, just talking about how far we've come, especially since the iRacing transition. Of course, you were one of the guys that were nice enough to send us a long message there, Corbin McCauley. So you got the win here tonight. Your winless stretch finally comes to an end. You get the pole. You win both stages. You go on to get the race win. You're pretty much doing a Jordan Kalinian like he did back at Sonoma and I believe Nashville as well. So how about that?
Yeah, that was an awesome race. I mean, I didn't realize I was this good at Pocono. Pocono is not a track that I typically run on. Like, this is probably a track I run like maybe twice a year, if that. Whenever it rolls around during the real life season, I'll run an official race, maybe two, but it's never really a track I've put much into. And I mean, just going out there and being that dominant, I mean, it's a pretty good feeling. Like that was really fun. And like, the one thing I loved about this racetrack is the fact that you could run any line, really. You could run the bottom, middle, top. Myself, I personally liked running the top better. You just get a better better run off the corner. And with these cars, how draggy they are, the more speed you can get on exit, the better, because then you'll kind of outpull the person behind you from the draft. And yeah, no, it was a really good race. Picked up both stage wins. The win itself, I mean, you can't really get much better than that.
And how would you say this race aligned overall with your expectations going in? Because obviously drivers were talking about, the differences between tight and loose on entry, corner exit. And, we saw how fast the cars were going down the straightaways, especially in the draft as well. We did have a couple of moments throughout the race, but nothing absolutely too big. It's not too extreme, but we still had, a solid, thrilling race, obviously dominated, but just how did it all overall align with what you thought going in?
Well, essentially from our hour practice last night, I mean, I could tell that it was going to be fast. There was going to be a lot of draft down the straightaways, and honestly, I didn't really think that we'd pull away from each other that much because of how strong the draft was. I thought it was just going to end up being a draft train the whole race, but no, once the tires started to wear, and like that's the thing about last night's practices, I didn't really get a full long run in. Like, I didn't really know what the car would react like on a full fuel and tire run. But evidently, on a full fuel and tire run, there is some disparity throughout the field, and didn't become the draft train like I thought it would be. And yeah, so I mean, like, even next week we're going to Indianapolis, and I thought maybe that would be a draft train as well. But like, I think Indy's going to race extremely like it did tonight, because they're very similar tracks, flat corners, long straights. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I thought there might have been a little more chaos tonight, but everyone kind of kept their head straight. And there was one accident here. There was a couple accidents. One of them resulted in a caution, the other wasn't. But all in all, everyone kept a good, clean head tonight, and it was a great race.
Jordy, you got anything for him?
Hey, yeah, let me jump in here. Obviously, significant win here in the triple-digit era of the NASCAR Series era, Corbin. So congratulations on that, first of all. Yeah, so obviously it's been a minute since we've had a chat here, and we established a long time ago that obviously, you're the guys who's kind of made the transition to iRacing rather seamlessly. You've been at it for years. But as I say, it's been a little bit since you've been in victory lane, and been a guy who's publicly set the expectation, want to win every time out. So tell me what the overall sense of relief, I guess, as much as anything else, about getting this one in the bag and, building up a bit of momentum heading toward the playoffs.
Yeah, no, it's huge, huge momentum build towards the playoffs. I mean, I haven't won since April, the third race of the season. We're now on the 13th race. So, I mean, it took me 10 races to go back to victory lane. And I don't think there was a time period on our seasons on iRacing for NASCAR that I've gone that long without a win. So, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I mean, it has been a while, and it feels really good to be back in victory lane. I mean, the races, the last 10 races have been just crazy. I mean, the competition level in this field is just absolutely insane. I mean, we have guys every week that like anyone could win. Obviously, Jordan's out there. He is one of the most competitive guys I think I've ever raced against. He lays it out all on the track. And I mean, just what a stout group of people. And I mean, this being our 100th race, I mean, I don't think it gets any better than this with what we've got. It took us 4 years to get to this point, and it took a lot of hard work from a lot of hard-working people, and it's all a culmination of everything, all the hard work from everyone, and just, I mean, it's incredible. I mean, I was here at the very start, now the 100th race, win the 100th race. I mean, it just feels so cool knowing that I was in the very first race, and now I'm the winner of the 100th race. So I hope this keeps going for years. Like, this is easily some of the most fun I ever have on sim racing. There's nothing else I've ever done on sim racing that's more fun than this, with such a competitive group of guys. And I love each and every minute of it. And I'm so glad to be a part of the committee and the admin group and everything that goes along behind the scenes and on the racetrack with this series. It just means the world to me.
Yeah, I mean, hard to sum it up too much better than that. Obviously, mentioned kind of a day one guy here, to say the very least. But yeah, let's just dig into the race itself, obviously, we mentioned the clean sweep that you had, but, outside of, kind of breaking away toward the end of stage 3, like you mentioned the competition level, it felt like, there was still kind of opportunities for things to happen, but as you said, it's kind of kept it going straight forward. So how were you able to kind of keep your head in this situation? Not that it was stressful looking, but just kind of knowing what was at stake and knowing, what it would mean to kind of get yourself back on track here, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in this race specifically, like we started in the middle of the afternoon and the track temp was really high. I mean, we started off with a track temp of 115 Fahrenheit, and now that I'm sitting on the front stretch right now, it's down to 82. So there was a significant drop in the track temperature. And honestly, I wasn't the greatest whenever the track temp was high. The car was really loose, especially on exit. And I was at the very beginning of the race, I was just kind of driving it a little too hard for the track temp that was there. But the thing is, as the race went on and the track temp dropped, it allowed me to drive the car a little harder, and it would actually take what I was giving it instead of sliding around everywhere and getting tight into the corner, loose on exit. It would stick, it would turn, it would launch off the corner. And I knew once that track temp dropped that I'd be lights out, because I'm I'm the kind of driver that likes to drive the hell out of the car. I don't like babying it. But in those higher temperatures, you almost have to baby the car so that it doesn't spin out or it doesn't, wash up the track or anything like that. But once it's got the grip in it, my God, I fly. It's just, I don't know what it is about it, but I love it whenever the track temp drops. There's tons of grip in the track. And that's really what I think was the difference maker at the end. Because looking at my lap times at the very end, like I was almost half a second faster than a lot of the guys out there. And I attest that to the track grip gaining so much of it because of that track temp decrease.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously the results kind of speak for themselves here tonight, and yeah, I've spoken my piece, so yeah, I'll throw it back to you here, Reeks.
Appreciate it, Jordy.
All right, then. Appreciate that. Appreciate that from you, Jordy. Now, moving on here from tonight's race, of course, obviously we made it here to race number 100. That's hard to believe in itself, but what's also hard to believe is that we now only have 2 races remaining in the regular season for Season 5 of the Canadian E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series, powered by Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue. We got the Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue 200 next Tuesday at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, going back to the Brickyard, and then the Deluxe of London 200 the week after, Rockingham Speedway. Obviously, now there's a bit of a momentum shift for you, Corbin, because you had that winless and poleless stretch, and now tonight you win basically everything. So I imagine going into those 2 races, knowing what could possibly be brought on to conclude this regular season, which, I mean, you've experienced it. We've seen it, how intense it all has been, the driver parity at its best in the history of the series. Just how are you going to try to take this momentum into the final couple races of this regular season and end it off well going into what is no doubt going to be a playoffs? That's one way to put it.
Yeah, that is certainly one way to put it. The momentum is huge going into the playoffs. I mean, with only having 2 races left, it's going to be absolutely massive to carry momentum into it to keep this train rolling. I mean, the next 2 tracks we're going to, Indianapolis and Rockingham, they couldn't be even more polar opposite of each other. I mean, Indianapolis is all long straightaway, fast speeds, hard braking, lots of drafting. And then Rockingham, it's you can only describe it by saying it's Rockingham. Like, it's Rockingham with the next gen car. It is an experience. I mean, you are bouncing, like literally car bouncing almost off the ground in the corners because of how bumpy it is. You're loose off the corner because when you're coming off the corner at Rockingham, you go up the track and then back down the track, and it just upsets the car. Rockingham is going to be one hell of a race, I can tell you that much. It's I'm really hoping it stays clean, but I mean, with the group of guys we got, it should stay relatively clean because from what I've seen from everyone, we can, no matter what track we go to, we can keep it clean. And it's just, you know what? I mean, Indy's going to be fun. It's been a long time since I ran a stock car on Indy on the oval configuration because, of course, in the real life Cup Series the last couple of years, they've gone to the road course. So anytime they went to Indy on iRacing for the official series, it was always on the road course. So it's been a while since I've done the oval with Indy. I think the last time I did an oval Indy race with a stock car might have been in NASCAR heat. So it's been quite some time. I'll definitely need to get the practice in for that one. But no, it should be a good race. Rockingham again, going to be, I'm hoping not a crapshoot, but it's also going to be really fun. And then of course, round one of the playoffs, it's going to be chaos. You know what? Not even just round one, every round.
And there were a couple times where we saw, or actually, I think couple is an understatement. We saw a lot of guys tonight get into the outside wall, whether it was exiting off of turn 1 or exiting off of turn 3 or what, turn 4. I think you did get the wall a little bit of times, a couple scratches and sniffs there. Maybe practicing for Darlington, July 9th?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I guess I can use this opportunity to tell you that you had a Fox moment and you missed me and Jordan almost wrecking twice.
I was wondering why you were screaming on the other side. So I mean,
you know, Fox's portion of the season is over in real life. You should like copy that.
What I was hearing in the background?
Might have been. I was also screaming about the whole end of stage 2. My math was completely wrong, so I was just kind of correcting myself. So
yeah, you have no right to say anything.
No, I guess not.
Anyways.
Oh, brothers.
Anyways, we have our moments. Jordy, you got any final things?
Hey, wait. Can I say something?
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a flagman for the first time on Friday night.
Wow.
It's only practice, but I mean, I'll get to wave a green flag. That'll be pretty cool.
I mean, what? Are you tired of collecting checkered flags? Virtual ones?
I don't know. Like
he's half a month away from that in real life, maybe.
Hey, yeah, I was just about to say, like, I might be collecting real checkered flags here pretty soon. You know,
yeah, that's also fair.
Yeah, if the engine worked, that'd be nice.
So, yeah, that'll be the test to see whether or not a certain color commentator makes his presence felt on June 29th.
Yes, exactly.
Because, again, I will be home, so maybe.
Woo!
Anyway, we're kind of getting off track here, I think. Now that we're, you know.
I'd be happy to waive the $20 fee to get in. Or 30.
Anyway, these are offline 30, conversations that we can have.
30 if you want to get the up-close experience.
Yeah, again, these are offline conversations that can be had.
To this.
Yeah. Anyways, that was tonight's post-race winner interview for the second annual Forked River 200 at the virtual Pocono Raceway, round 13 of 22, the 100th race in the history of the Canadian eMotorsports Network NASCAR Series, powered by Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue, goes to none other than a guy that's been here since day one, collecting his third win of the season, career win number 18. It's the number 17 Bulger Motorsports Kawasaki, and all the other above sponsors that he has. Corbin McCauley, if you want to shout out the other ones, go ahead.
Yeah, so we got, I'm just going to repeat the ones you said, plus the other ones. So we got Bulger Motorsports, we got ARC Carpentry and Flooring, we got Cavendish Farms, Kawasaki, Captain Mike Morgan. Mike Morgan, that's not it. Captain Mike McCauley. His boat name is Captain Morgan. What am I saying here? And then we also got O'Connor Glass and Shaw's Towing as well. So big thanks to all of them. And I'd also, before I go, I would like to shout out Daniel Cudmore, because he is the reason we are all still doing this. He is the creator, the founder of this network that we love and watch and race in every single Tuesday night. If it weren't for him, none of us would be doing this. So, Daniel, big shout out. We miss you, buddy. We hope to see you back on the track soon.
Jordy, what are you doing?
I wasn't sure if we were going back on camera at the end or not.
Oh, we will.
I was being ready.
We'll get to that when we get through the unofficial results here. But anyways, yes, Corbin, once again, congratulations, and we'll see you next week for the Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue 200 on Tuesday, June 18th at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Best of luck at the Brickyard.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Jordy. Thanks, Regan.
And so there it is, the post-race interview there with tonight's race winner, Corbin McCauley. We'll now get through the unofficial results of tonight's event. The number 17, of course, getting the win. C.D. Mangerman, Jordan Kalinian rounding out the podium. Adam Wilson, Andy Hurdle rounding out the top 5. Jared Ireland 6. Justin Belmonte had a couple moments throughout the race, but a consistent top 10 speed, even was up towards the top 5, comes home with a 7th place finish in his first return in a couple of weeks. His first start in a couple weeks here. Again, though, still looking at that cut line at minus 39. More than likely will need a win within the next couple of weeks, unless, again, complete catastrophe happens with maybe someone like Kyle Knoll, who we saw him rubbing doors with for almost, you could argue, the entire race. Knoll comes short of him there in 8th. Darcy Ford 9th. Trevor Binns rounding at the top 10. He had a top 5 car earlier in the race, but just some stuff there late in that final stage just went against him. Just outside the top 10 is Jason Heaney, Jose Mercado, Mike Marini. We saw William Kern running up front there within the top 5 and top 10, but I had a lot of moments there, especially coming off the final corner, and then a loose moment and a good save off of turn 1 just kind of solidified a worse result for him. Jason Butler 15th, Tom Janikowski 16th, Ryan O'Toole 17th, Mark Ouellette 18th, Mason Tomlinson 9th, and then rounding out the field, Bryce Fountain in 20th. Possible top 10 finish for him, but unfortunately caught up in some stuff. Hunter Young 21st, and then rounding it all out, man, oh man, the minus nice laps.
I mean, it wouldn't be a NASCAR series race if there wasn't, something along those lines, no?
No, and we'll get to our faces here one last time, just because, yeah, you speculated it. I was already planning on anyways.
Yeah, I mean, it's formality, right? Like, we got to have fun with it. We got to remember that this was all started in the name of fun, and at the end of the day, if you're not having fun, what are you doing? So that's where we are.
I can see quite the reflection there.
I know that's I kind of messed that up after the fact, but yeah, I have to keep my head up a little bit more. But it's still not helping.
Yeah, there you go. But anyways, though, that was the Fork Driver 200 here at Pocono Raceway. Any final thoughts there? We heard Corbin talking about how the car reacted as the race went on. Even he experienced a bunch of loose moments, a couple of wall hits, scratches, scrapes, maybe a little bit of practice, as I jokingly asked him there about Pocono Raceway Darlington Raceway being the first race of the 5th annual Earl Ross Cup playoffs. So maybe a little bit of fun practice for that, obviously. But Jordy, any final thoughts here on race number 100?
I mean, maybe it didn't quite have the ending fireworks that we expected, but, there was enough that happened. And, we have a little bit of unofficial movement as well with Kyle Knoll moving up to 11th in the standings now off of the bubble. So gives himself a little bit of breathing room. Now Mike Marini is the guy whose seat's getting a little hotter over the next couple weeks. But you know what? I think the charges that you saw from the guys who are outside, again, it just reinforces what we were talking about in the beginning. Absolutely nothing is said until that checkered flag, waves in Rockingham in a couple of weeks. And you know what? I think, we've been on a bit of a run. I think we're, potentially, well, maybe not so much at Indy next week. It feels like it'll be kind of more or less straightforward as opposed to like a full on, drama fest, but, still a long way to go between now and, the race that ultimately matters, where we cut down our contenders in half.
Indeed, and again, now we're going to be able to guarantee 2 drivers that will make it into the playoffs on points, but now with Marini sitting 3 points behind Knoll there in that 12th and final playoff spot. If somebody like Justin Belmonte, Jason Heaney, or even Trevor Binns, we saw there's a bit of a potential momentum shift in how their runs played out here tonight at Pocono Raceway. Belmonte just coming back now in quite the rough spot, especially after the rookie season that he had with us back last year here in the NASCAR series. But if we do get a different winner within the next 2 weeks, like, if it's one different winner, then it's basically going to come down to Kyle Knoll and Mike Marini. Is like, either one of them has to be ahead of one another just to stay safe on that. If we get 2 different winners, then that's a whole different story. I'd say on paper more than likely not to happen, but you never know what could happen at Indianapolis or Rockingham. You got Indianapolis, where I personally have a theory that it could play out as a potential strategy race towards the end. But then you got Rockingham, which, as Corbin said, hopefully it's not a drama fest.
Well, I mean, I say it's new territory for everyone, especially in the NASCAR series side of things. We've literally never been there, whether it's in the heat eras or the iRacing side of things. So, yeah, nothing for us to really go off of. Just a matter of kind of seeing where the chips fall on that particular night. But, yeah, we've still got another race in between then and, ultimately locking those positions in.
I mean, yeah, we had Circuit of the Americas, at least on the NASCAR side, as new territory. We had Nashville Super Speedway. We just had Monza there last week, and look at how Monza turned out, of all places. So, yeah, tonight's race definitely, in terms of driver expectations going in, maybe a little different, but still, some extreme stuff did happen, but pretty much everybody, except for one driver, unfortunately, was able to make it to the end. But with all that being said, of course, that does it for tonight. So 2 more races left in the regular season here for Season 5 of the Canadian eMotorsports Network NASCAR Series. We're going to the Brickyard next week, Tuesday, June 18th. It's the Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue 200, round 14 of 22. Our first time going there since 2022. I believe it was a Jonathan Peaton that got the win there.
Sorry, I blanked for a second. Yeah, that sounds right, but yeah, I'll confirm that in the background here. Cue some elevator music. Surely we have something licensed for our 100th race special. Oh, are we going full Jeopardy or?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yes, Peden Season 3 Indy. Yes.
Yeah, my memory was good for once.
Well, I mean, it would be one of your first races because, I mean, again, that was Season 3.
Yeah, actually, I gotta give credit to me making that little teaser video or whatever when going back, going through highlights of several of the races that we've run here throughout the history of the Canadian Motorsports Network NASCAR series, and I guess that's kind of, I suppose that's the most fair way to end this off, is that race 100 is now done. Hopefully we have 100 more to go. Man, oh man, what a wild ride it's been. I know for you it's been since day one in 2020. For me, it's been 2 years now, but it's crazy how far we've come.
Well, 3 seasons.
Yeah. 2022, 1, 2.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, it was a little awkward in the video trying to, put in the 4.5 seasons and years and all that, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, it's crazy how far we've come, especially since the iRacing transition as well, which everybody has said it's pretty much the best decision that's ever been made in the history of the Canadian eMotorsports Network. And I myself am very grateful for everything that's happened ever since my arrival. I'm sure you also are feeling the same for ever since the time you were the official voice of the Canadian eMotorsports Network.
Yeah, and I mean, again, I mentioned it in my video. Yeah, my role shifted a little bit, but, still somewhat the conscience of everything here as well. So, you know what? There's a part of me that'll always be around.
Indeed so, and we're happy to have everybody that we have here within the Canadian eMotorsports Network, and of course the quote-unquote alumni that we do have come in every now and then to still interact with us and, show their presence so that we can look back on all the memories that we have all been through here within the Canadian E-Motorsports Network and the NASCAR Series powered by Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue. So that was round 13 of 22 for Season 5, the Forked River 200 at the virtual Pocono Raceway. The number 17, Boulder Motorsports Kawasaki Chevrolet of Corbin McCauley, who's been here since day one, fittingly getting the race win number 3 on the season, pole number 4 on the season, and career win number 18. He'll look to go back-to-back in race number 101 next week at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on June 18th for the Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue 200. So on behalf of Jordy Carraher here, who's been here since the very beginning, he's on the other side of the country in Alberta, Canada, the very first voice of the Canadian E-Motorsports Network, the competition committee involved in the network. Yes, I saw the little hat salute there. All other staff, partners, drivers involved within the network. My name is Regan McCauley, the voice of the Canadian E-Motorsports Network from Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. We'd all like to thank each and every one of you for tuning in to tonight's live production of race number 100. Hopefully we'll have 100 more to come, especially as well within our IndyCar series as well, maybe Formula One action down the line, 2 off-season events as well. But all that matters is we're still keeping on this train, and we're going to make damn sure that we keep it going from here on out. So thank you everybody for tuning in to tonight's event and the pre-race show as well. If you saw some of the Monza highlights, the teaser video, and also seeing the messages from several members of the Canadian E-Motorsports Network. Obviously, as Corbin said, thank you very much to Daniel Cudmore, because without him and the Holland College Athletics Department, we most certainly wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them deciding to put this on during the pandemic. And of course, back then, everybody knew, everybody was uncertain about how it was all going to go. But now here, on June 11th, 2024, we can officially say we're now 4.5 years on 100 races into the Canadian E-Motorsports Network NASCAR Series, powered by Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening to this. We'll see you all next week in Indianapolis. Take care. That was race number 100, won by Corbin McCauley.